Woo! What's up, Internet?
Where's that coming from? Never mind.
Never mind. My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Claru.
And this is the Nerdy.
The Wordy.
The Book Club.
Strong start.
A professional operation that does things professionally.
Yes. Only professionals here.
Only professionals in the building.
Yes. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Martin Short and Steve Martin have murders in their building, and we have professionals in ours.
Only, yes. Yeah. In our house.
Pondering Book says, Guten Tag, Barmaid Claris.
Hello.
You do kind of look like you're gonna serve beer steins at a German beer festival.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Seabass Milan, thank you for joining the Nargs of the Nerd Table.
Happy to have you.
Johnny Coleman, thank you for commissioning basically every chapter in the book, and also for being a Narg for 4 months.
Hell yeah.
By the way, Smut Corner is now called Smut Chasm. I made a poll on Discord, and the people voted to change it 17-0. I'm glad we were informed of this.
Wow, yeah.
Thank you so much for changing our 2.5-year podcast.
Mm-hmm. I love how diplomacy works.
Yeah. Diplomacy?
Yeah.
Do you mean democracy?
Nope. I said what I said. Definitely didn't mean that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Before we get into it today, this podcast is brought to you by MistyMountainGaming.com. MistyMountainGaming.com is going to be a useful little website because the Stormlight is coming to your titty top RPGs and tabletop RPGs. Yep. And
demonetized. What
was I saying? What was I? Ad read. MistyMountainGaming.com is a place where you'll be able to buy metal dice and silicon dice and glass dice.
And also gemstone dice, which is really important for the Stormlight TTRPG because obviously, like, you're going to have to magic infuse those spheres.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about some infusions today.
Sounds like a weird cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I would drink it. The Stormlight cocktail book.
Book?
Like, I'd go through the cocktails one by one.
Oh, I was like, the cocktail is called the Stormlight Cocktail Book. Okay.
I had some grape shochu last night. It was delicious. Anyway, MistyMountainGaming.com rocks. Use code nerdynightly15 for 15% off your order. nerdynightly15, that's a coupon code.
That is correct.
Yeah. That's our slogan.
What's up, chat? Good morning. How we doing? Who's ready for some Way of Kings?
Judah Canizera says, I'm surprised Dragonsteel hasn't done their own Stormlight and Mistborn dice. Have they not done that for the Stormlight TTRPG? I mean, it's not out yet, but
couldn't tell you. No
I'm
idea.
assuming that there will be. I'm assuming that that's coming. Because that, wait for that Kickstarter. When that Kickstarter drops the week after DragonCon, I think that you'll be surprised at just how monetized it is. Arzu, thank you for gifting 5.
Arzu!
Mamba number 5.
Thank you so much. Do you know how many audiobook reactions you can go listen to now?
A little bit of Caitlin in my life. A little bit of Sarah in my life. A little bit of Ariel in my life.
The correct.
A little bit of Melissa in my life. A little bit of Lauren in my life.
Song.
A little bit.
I did a dance to this song. It exists on YouTube if you know how to find it. And that's all I'm going to tell you.
That's a dangerous thing to put on the internet.
Yeah, I know.
How you doing, Clarus?
I'm good. How you doing?
Sometimes people are like, Nerdy, why do you talk more than Clarus in the videos? And then on video I go, how you doing? And you say, I'm good. How you doing?
Yeah. Well, we're having a conversation. You know? It's a back and forth.
I'm good. I was better before I read Interlude 5, which made me feel very weird, and I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Which one was number 5? I don't read the titles. I just read the interludes.
It's the one where the guy's like, oh no, I'm a Voidbringer. And I was like, oh.
Oh, he's not serious.
He's an immortal who has the ability to change shape.
Who's researching Spren.
Yeah, in the interim before he destroys the planet.
I thought it was a joke.
I actually don't think it's a joke. I think that it was the truth revealed in a tongue-in-cheek way. I think that he was like, I'm a Voidbringer, and you're like, oh, that's so funny, you goofy goober. And then it turns out that dude is actually not a Voidbringer.
The beggar gave him two choices. He was like, are you a Herald or a Voidbringer? And he was like, definitely Voidbringer.
I know.
Like,
No, I hear you. I 100% hear you. I think that it is meant to be a comedic moment, and the truth is that dude is a fucking Voidbringer.
Nah, I don't think so.
All right.
No, we're calling opposite predictions.
He's
not
just a
not
little
a
guy.
Voidbringer.
He's just a little guy. Yeah, no,
He's a little something.
I don't know. I think I'm good. I had a good week. Candela episode 6 is out. Got some very just some really kind feedback from people about it, and people really like this show. So I'm grateful for that. It was nice. I'm in the Beacon Discord for the Critical Role. They're like private new streaming service that I think is actually very good for like a straight at launch. I really like the color scheme, the layout. It's very snappy.
Nice. Yeah, it's just clean.
One of the things I found with a lot of the like, we're a YouTube company and we made a streaming service, is that you like open it and it's like, I can't find anything.
Yeah.
And I feel like Critical Role did a really good job with Beacon. And it was just kind of nice. I was in the like Candela room there, and unprompted, other people brought up our show. And so that was really cool to see. Yeah. I'm really proud of it. And now that it's all out, if you guys were like, I'm waiting for all 6 episodes to be out so I can binge it, go binge it.
It's done now.
It's like
go out. You have no
10
excuses
hours.
anymore.
Yeah.
No.
You know what? You guys keep complaining that the reading is not long enough each week. So you have plenty of time to go watch our Candela Obscura show.
Yeah. Take that. Very similar content.
Yeah, so it was a good week. I'm excited to go to LA next week. Next week's book club will be live from Los Angeles, and then there will be no book club the week after.
Yes, because of Anime Expo.
Yeah, because we'll be at a convention.
Yeah.
So the reactions will probably be up earlier this week, so I kind of want to get those done before we head to LA, but.
We're gonna get a bunch of stuff done.
We'll
see. But book club next week we're just gonna like hopefully find an Airbnb with good internet and just like chill.
Book club might be a disaster. We'll see.
We'll see.
But isn't that fun?
It is quite often a disaster, so it doesn't matter. Speaking of which, I don't know why you guys are here, but for some reason you are, and so that stands to reason that other people might also want to be here. But we need to find those people. And so if you're like watching the show and you think that there's a moment that might make a good short for YouTube, because YouTube really likes shorts, and that's just how it works. I don't fucking make the rules. If you're like, oh, that was like funny, or that was an interesting prediction or whatever, feel free to drop like a note in the Discord for us.
Should we create a channel where people can recommend short timestamps?
Oh God, I feel like that would be.
We just want you guys all to work for us so that we.
No, I'm not like you must do this, but I'm like if you had a thought, you're like that's a good moment right there.
Mm-hmm.
I also know that some of you go back and watch our old book clubs.
Yeah.
So like, power to you. But if you're like, hey, other people might find this funny, degenerates like us, let us know. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that, Clarus.
You're welcome.
With that, let's talk about The Way of Kings, chapter 21 through interlude 6. We have finished part 2 of the book.
We have, yes.
Clarus, we're
like 30%.
No, we're almost halfway.
Really?
Yeah, it's 5 parts, and the audiobook is like 49 hours, and we're like 20-something hours in.
Well, okay.
How are you feeling about the book so far?
It's great. Fucking love it.
Yeah.
I'm like so happy. I normally I try and leave the reading for like Wednesday, Thursday, so it's really fresh in my brain. But the last couple of weeks, I like haven't been able to like wait that long.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've actually finished. Well, we have finished because of some of the audiobook reactions.
Yeah.
I finished the book early. And so I think I think that for the next week, I'm going to probably get my reading done over the next couple days. And then I'm building a cosplay. I'm just going to like pop the audiobook in back from the beginning and like re-listen to it. Because that is how much I am really enjoying this book.
Scafani, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you.
Next week has one of my favorite chapters.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
excited.
Can't wait. I'm very excited for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know like what to say about it, right? Like we're 2 weeks into me being like, this book's really well written. And it just is, you know what I mean? It's one of those books where you're like, oh yeah, whatever he was trying to figure out on Elantris and Warbreaker and whatever growth was happening as a writer for him,
worked.
It like, you can feel that it's like settled into what this book is.
Definitely.
Right? All of the pacing issues and sort of, I think like misplaced character motivations that really like often like unimmersed me from Elantris and Warbreaker really drew me out of the book and into my confusion of reading it. All of that kind of is gone now. And I feel like this book feels like the end, not the end goal, because obviously he writes books after this, but feels like the culmination of the lessons he learned from the books he wrote previous to this.
Yeah.
In a way that I'm really impressed by. I'm consistently hooked by chapters. I think that like the character interactions are great. The dialogue is really well written.
Yeah,
the
for sure.
characters themselves are all very interesting and varied, and we got like a new woman in the book who's awesome and desperately needed. And so yeah, I don't know. I feel right now like it sort of feels similar to how I felt in some of those like books like 3, 4, 5 of Wheel of Time, where I'm like, oh, this is just really good. I'm having a great time. I'm really invested, and I love it. I love the world. I still find the men don't read thing to be really, really funny.
It is so hilarious. Every fucking time it comes up, I fucking cackle at it. It is hilarious.
Well, and the book keeps bringing up how bad an idea it is. Like, the book keeps explaining why one gender not reading is a terrible social norm.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah. J. Eddie, thank you so much for that super chat. Welcome on in. You made it. You're close enough to on time.
You should wait, but you can't just skip over this. Usually I wait about 40 minutes so I can fast forward through nerdy rants.
But
wait, do you guys just want me to not be on the show? Would you rather just be Clara's talking about books for 3 hours by herself?
That would honestly be awful. Like, I'm telling you right now, I'm too like scattered to like hold a show together myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, that's great. And then I'd be like, one time when I was at the mall, and it would just be word vomit and not fun.
I mean, you are 21 streams into your Baldur's Gate run, and you are not halfway through yet.
Yeah, I'm also almost a year into it, because I started it last August.
Did Baldur's Gate come out in August?
Yeah, it was like right at my birthday, remember?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, I know! Shut up. Linus Vikstrom, thank you for that super chat. Happy midsummer from a sunny Sweden. Hell yeah. Happy summer. Happy summer. I thought it was yesterday, but
I think it's today. It's the 21st. Happy summer solstice to all of you witches and pagans and hippies who will be frolicking naked in the woods tonight. May your orgies not give you chlamydia. Yeah,
get tested. We're probably gonna do the reactions for book club before we leave. So
we're gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah. We'll get you.
We didn't put that into our schedule.
We'll get you those. It's fine. Judah, thank you so much for the super chat as well.
Maybe we'll do them on the plane.
No, absolutely. What the fuck is wrong?
We'll set up the camera.
No,
and we'll sit and we'll react.
No, because those seats are so close to you. It'll be like when your people are in space and they have the in-helmet camera that's like right here. No, terrible.
Judah, thank you for your super chat.
Thank you.
Stormlight is often described as his magnum opus.
I get it.
I don't think it can be a magnum opus until it's done. The dude's not even written half of, or he's written half of it. Like, I think that magnum opus will be... Oh, you mean
the whole... Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that people... This is what I'm going to say. I think we need to chill with the magnum opuses on works of people who are alive. I think magnum opus... No, but I mean this. This is not me being like a jokester. Mm-hmm. I think that a magnum opus is what we call something after it's done, and usually after somebody's dead, right? When you're like, when you look back on their life, or when they're like retired and kind of in like the later phases of life, you're like,
Sure.
you look back on their life and you're like, what piece of art did they make that had the biggest impact on the world? We nowadays, and we do the same thing with fucking like sports. We do it with everything now because of social media, where we try and label things as the best thing ever in the moment.
Yeah, because nobody likes nuance or halfway. Like, it always has to be there. Like, it always has to be, I have to make my point and there is no room for wiggle room, even though I don't actually believe that. I'm just saying it to make people argue in the comments and share it and blah blah blah. It's fucking exhausting.
It's the like LeBron versus Michael Jordan debate that's been raging since LeBron entered the league. And you're like, okay, but like why we can argue this when LeBron is done playing. But
Sure.
LeBron is still playing.
Yeah.
LeBron will be playing next year.
Yeah.
This thing where people are like, yeah, but Michael Jordan has 6 rings. And it's like, Michael Jordan is done playing. We know what his career was. And maybe his Defensive Player of the Year award in 1988 was fraudulent. Maybe the home stat keeper fucking lied about a bunch of shit, which is really funny. And I can't believe that this is coming out in 2024. But LeBron is still playing. He's not done yet. Let's wait until he's done. I don't know. But otherwise, these like daytime sports talk shows that have to talk for 90 minutes 5 days a week.
Yeah,
what are they going to talk about
shit.
if they don't just argue about shit?
It's like us with book club.
Yeah, exactly.
I think book club will be our magnum opus. I think it will change the
hope
world.
Not. Oh God, I hope we do something better than this at some point.
Our book club will bring people together for bingo.
Can't say that it brings people together. It definitely tears people apart.
Well, yeah.
Much like Lisa, it's tearing me apart.
Oh, I was like, what's wrong with Lisa? It's fine. I got it afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was like...
yeah. No. It's we got there. We got there eventually. The book starts a No, it doesn't start. We started our reading.
The book starts at chapter 21.
Honestly, not a bad
I'm going to
place
write a book now just to have the first chapter be called Chapter 21.
Chapter 21.
It'll
and
be
it
a
just
joke
goes
for
from there.
this book club.
Yeah. Yeah, you're actually...
Gordon Shan, thank you for that super...
thank you.
No, for the fucking gifteds.
The gifted memberships. Let's fucking go. Thank you so much. Go watch those audiobook reactions, but not right now.
Razor Boomerang says, your AOT reactions brought people together. Yep, it certainly did. Not in our favor, but it brought people together.
It definitely brought people together against us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bad show. I don't know what to tell you. This is called Why
It fell off
Men
the rails.
Lie.
Why do men lie? As a man.
Usually when we're tired. Sometimes just because you're on a beach. You're like, I'm going to lie down now.
Oh. I was like, because you have heat stroke?
No, just, sometimes you lie down.
Fair. You know what? That's fair. Sometimes I also lie down.
No, you lie up.
What?
I don't know. I knew it would get a reaction out of it.
All right.
This is a Kaladin chapter. And Kaladin is lying down in bed. And he's like, I don't want to get up. And I was like, Kaladin, I get you. That's me every fucking day. And I don't even have to run a bridge back and forth. Crazy. But he gets up and he works out again. And he's like, I'm gonna do a lighter workout today.
It's like, I'm a little tuckered out.
Basically he has stabilized his little boys and just needs a little antiseptic to bring them back to health, because those dang diddly old little rot Spren, they're a little crawling. The rot Spren really, guys, they really gross me out.
They remind me of aphids.
They remind me of aphids is good.
They're like bright orange and they're little tiny dots.
But they specifically crawl around your wounds.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
Like, I would not want to live here.
No.
At all. Honestly, I don't need little fairies to show up every time I do anything.
Do you think there's like shit Spren?
There's gotta be.
Like...
The way that this book brings up Spren, there's captivity Spren. That's such a complicated idea.
Well, no. Okay, those might be made up. We don't know.
I'm just saying, I really, as a teenage boy, did not need cum Spren to show up every time I masturbated. You know what I mean? That just feels...
Orgasm Spren.
Yeah.
Maybe they help clean it up.
Do you think that there's, squirt Spren for women who are capable of that? Or is it just the same as pee Spren?
It's probably just the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really hard to distinguish the difference.
Welcome to Smut Chasm. And guys, I have confirmation here. Brandon Sanderson just turned the podcast off. Thank you for showing up, Mr. Sando. Sorry we got dirty early.
You will never watch this, which is a good thing.
I could see him accidentally beginning an episode. I cannot see him finishing an episode.
God, no. The show is 3 hours.
No. Brandon Sanderson feels like the kind of author who Googles himself. And because he seems very online. And I could see his YouTube algorithm putting us on as an autoplay. Like, I don't think he would click on the thumbnail. Okay. But I could see him, like, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning because our video is playing. The video is just,
it just, like, YouTube autoplays it. Yeah.
He definitely dislikes the video.
Yeah.
I want to be clear. Like, I don't think that he would watch the show. Yeah. I just think that he might accidentally end up with it on because he Googles himself enough.
Yeah. I think that's valid.
Yeah.
God damn it. So.
James Ross says, I think he has filters for his kids. I'm assuming he doesn't have filters for himself, though.
He probably has his own computer. Maybe they only have a family computer.
The dude made $15 million on one Kickstarter. Brandon Sanderson owns more than one PC.
Do you think he pays for YouTube Premium?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Guys, does Brandon Sanderson watch ads on YouTube? Or does he pay for YouTube Premium?
No. I think he does because I don't think he has time for ads.
No. Who has time for ads?
I think Brandon Sanderson opens Twitch once a year, but he still pays for Twitch Turbo because when he opens it that one time, he doesn't want to see a fucking ad.
That is so valid.
I want that kind of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want the kind of money where like I pay for Twitch Turbo and never use it.
Yeah, just to be like, fuck your ads. Yeah.
Brother Armand says, did you see his Kickstarter video with his pile of broken keyboards? Yeah, that tells me that I understand the idea that is him being like, look at how much I write. But what it tells me is that he has bad keyboard typing skills.
How do you break a keyboard?
I mean, in this case, either he's buying really cheap, crappy keyboards and then typing constantly, right? Or he just is fucking attacking that thing. And he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would type poorly. I feel like he would...
Yeah, or he would, like, have issues if he was typing that much.
Yeah.
Two-fingerboard. I think he writes too fast to type like this.
Yeah.
Or he plays League of Legends. Oh. Do you think Brandon Sanderson plays League of Legends? I've just never had a keyboard really wear out, so I don't know. Can't relate.
Honestly, does Brandon Sanderson... Actually, no, I know he doesn't. Because when they talked about Arcane on the Intentionally Blank podcast, he had talked about how he has no idea what League of Legends is.
Oh, I love that for him.
He has a team in League of Legends?
Wait, what?
I thought when they did Arcane that he said he'd never played the game. He owns a League of Legends team?
What?
No way.
Oh my god. That's insane.
Oh my god.
Okay. He's sponsored a college team.
Wait, with One True King?
Well, I don't know what that means.
It's Asmongold's team.
Oh.
Wow, that is...
Wow. I learned something new today.
All right, maybe I'm wrong. I thought for some reason that he had never played it, but... yeah, I guess... I think you are more likely to break a keyboard playing League of Legends than you are typing a novel. Unless you are terrible at typing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kaladin. Kaladin kind of realizes... Kaladin has a conversation with the goober that is named Gaz.
Oh.
And Gaz is like, all right, here's the fucking deal. Mm-hmm. I talked with Sarsaparilla, and he was like, I'm not going to let you string this guy up for saving lives. However, we're not feeding those fucks. And Kaladin is like, well, if we don't feed them, they'll die. And Gaz is like, Sounds
like a you problem.
I know. And so Kaladin goes to his people and is like, yo, bros.
Bros.
Can everyone give me like 2% of your food. So that instead of me having to give up like 60% of my food, we could pool resources here. Everybody just bring back like a grain of rice for them, and then we will keep them alive. And everyone is like, ha ha ha, no, we won't do that.
Except for our best boy.
Yeah, except for the best character in the book.
Yeah.
By far and away my favorite character in the book.
I'm shocked.
Not my favorite accent choice in the audiobook.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Yeah. It's not my favorite accent choice from Michael Kramer, who's the audiobook I'm mostly really like. I don't love Rock's voice.
Yeah, that is fair.
But Rock is definitely my favorite character.
Oh, yeah, he's great. He's like, you know what? I can spare some food so that Kaladin doesn't fucking starve himself.
Yeah.
Yep. That's kind of mostly it, except that Rock is like, oh yeah, I can also see Syl.
Yeah.
Kaladin's like, wait, what? He's like, oh yeah, I am a something, something, something. And Kaladin's like, I don't know what that means. And I was like, I don't know what that means. Cool. Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. We also find out that Rock is basically just the Rock, culturally.
Oh, because
he's from...
He's Maori.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like either like Polynesian or Hawaiian or Samoan.
Rock comes over and is like, you can have some of my food. What can I say except you're welcome?
Wait, now I just want Rock to be like, do the rap from Moana.
Oh, yeah, no, don't know it.
Law de Rue, Horn Eaters are supposed to have Eastern European Russian accents, right? Or similar. Anyways, that's not the accent that he's doing in this.
No, yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
no.
Okay, Brother Armand brings up that they're ginger. Here's my question about fantasy writers. What is it about, like... Gingers?
I don't know.
Why
do you have a thing for gingers?
Well, yeah, but, like, that's just, like, a sexual attraction. But, like, fantasy authors are like, okay, so there's this culture that's right nearby. Yeah, but I don't look at you as being a different kind of person. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because it's fucking hair dye.
But there's something... I really want to know where it begins. Because, like, the Aiel being like, oh, and the weird thing about them, they've got red hair.
Oh.
And they're primitive. And I'm like, is this just, like, an ongoing dismissal of the Irish? Are we just to this day still just shitting on the Irish by being like the primitive culture just west of us?
The redheads are always really cool.
Yeah, but they're always like aggressive primitives who have like less technology and like really like interesting
like
war culture.
Rocks. I feel like I feel like a lot of the times it's just different. I feel like it's like each culture is primitive in its own way.
I would not argue that these cultures are primitive at all.
Well, like, I mean, like, they have, like, really fucking weird, like, customs, right? Like, people think the Horn Eaters are weird and the Horn Eaters think other people are weird.
But they're not primitive. Like, in this episode, Dalinar has a fucking, like, it has Wi-Fi.
Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat.
Can you smell what the Rock is cooking?
I'm happy you...
When I was in Japan, I was at dinner with Mai and Tomoko, these two French horn players in the orchestra, and I was trying to get them to say that. And they were so confused. And I was like, no, because we were cooking. It was like a hot plate, like a Japanese barbecue style, but the thing in the middle was a rock that got heated up by a fire underneath, and you put food on the rock. And so I was so dumb.
Oh my god.
They couldn't say it, and I was having the best time.
God damn it.
Tomoko just had her kid.
Aw, that's fun. Yeah. Good for her.
I know you're not watching this, but congratulations, Tomoko-chan. I miss you. Kathurak, thank you for being a member for 15 months.
Welcome back.
The Horn Eaters are the only people with the correct amount of air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have too much of it, apparently. For some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I find they're the weird primitive redheads is always such a funny thing in all of these fantasy books that we read. There's always the weird redhead.
It's because it's a rare hair color, so it's like, ooh, it's fantastical. Like, that's all.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with
I
like
get
the
that.
Targaryens being like a platinum blonde, because that like doesn't like that's super uncommon.
Well, the Targaryens have a hair color that doesn't exist in nature, and they also have purple eyes.
Not necessarily. I think that like
The way it's described in the book.
Oh,
The
yeah, I mean,
TV
no-
show to make it look real and not like a Party City wig dulls it to something a little bit less, but they're supposed to have like almost like shiny hair. You know what I mean?
It's like silvery white,
Yeah.
like platinum blonde.
I just think I think there's something funny about these these fantasy books that are like the Game of Thrones being like the Targaryens are a fantasy people that do not exist in real life, right? There is no such thing as a purple-eyed, silver hair person in real life. And in so many other fantasies, it's like the fucking
Gingers.
Irish.
The fucking guys, it's the Irish. It's always the fucking Irish.
The Irish live in the desert, a place Irish people should not be. Or the Irish people live on top of a mountain,
Oh
a
my
place
God.
Irish people should not be. Irish people belong in potato farms, and that is it.
Wow, you shut your mouth. You shut your dirty whore mouth.
Oh, I'm Irish. I can say it.
Trillion, I want to say thank you for the 100 biddies over on Twitch.
What's up?
Thank
Happy
you,
Friday.
thank
Hope
you.
y'all are well. Those cooking rock things are so weird when I first saw them. They're weird, but hey, I had some good food at that restaurant.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's always so funny to me when they're like, but they're ginger. And I'm like, okay,
Well,
cool.
the hair itself is so weird in this world because you can just have like a bunch of different colors in your hair.
Mm-hmm.
There's like straight up gold hair. And then you can have like just like patches of different colors. It's like, oh, some of it's red and some of it's black. And it's just like, it's like cats and
James
dogs.
Ross says we have 2 examples. Okay, I can keep going.
2 examples of what?
Of like weird redhead cultures. In Aragon, the redheads are the fucking
Oh,
oh my god,
where is this going?
what is his what are those people called?
Apparently I've never read Aragon before.
Yes, you have, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Redheads.
You're being really bitchy about this, and you're gonna feel really dumb.
Okay.
When I remind you that the villain of the first book,
The Shades?
the Shades in Aragon, are canonically ginger.
No.
They have red hair.
Urza, it has like vermilion hair because he's possessed by
No.
spirits.
Shades in Aragon have red hair.
Not all of them. That's not like all shades have red hair. Like that's not like a rule. They're like possessed by spirits. They're not a race of people. It's sorry, this is like spoilers for the first book of Aragon, but like, yeah, no.
No. This is a thing. The Shades in Aragon have red hair.
The shade that we see has red hair.
No, but they're described as like the way that you know that they're Shades is because of like the red hair that is...
No, it's because they look like fucking demons. Their skin is like pale and stretched, and they like I mean, their teeth can like be like pointed.
Their eyes and hair became dark red. Their
Uh-huh.
eyes are maroon, as red as wine, and their hair was crimson, as red as blood.
Yeah.
They literally become redheads when they become Shades. I'm not making this up. This is in the books.
No, that is the shade that we see become a shade.
Skinny, pale, red hair, red eyes, scary as fuck.
But
that's
that's
a
also
shade.
not a race of people.
I am not wrong here. I'm not wrong. The redheads in Aragon are the Shades.
Shades are not a race of people.
Okay, but it is still the thing that like the weird like subculture thing where it's like the aggressive primitive people is that they're the redheads.
Primitive?
Well, no, the Shades probably aren't primitive, but I'm right about this. We just read these books. The Shades have red hair. Their hair becomes red when they become a Shade.
Okay, that's still not a race of people. We see.
It's still the redheads in Aragon are those ones.
We see 2 shades. We see 2 shades, and yes, they have red hair. So.
I just love that you were like, where are you going with this? Where are you going with this?
You were
And
like,
I'm fucking
race-
right!
It's not, because it's not a race of people.
I'm fucking right! And you're telling me I'm wrong.
Yeah, there are 2 people with red hair in Aragon. You are correct.
But all Shades in that world become redheads. Mm-hmm. When they lose their soul, they become a redhead. I think that there's something there.
They're possessed by spirits.
Yes, and they lose their soul. They don't get it back.
Sure.
Their soul gets ripped from their body and they become a ginger. Mm-hmm. Christopher Paolini, I fucking see you with your hat and the red plume on it. I know what's up.
Oh my god. Yeah, I just don't really see. First of all, I don't really see the Aiel as primitive. I don't really see Shades as primitive, and I don't see the Horn Eaters as primitive. I see them as different.
Sure. I guess primitive might be the wrong word. I think that what I mean more is
like they're like the weird people.
Intentionally
Intentionally different.
They represent a culture that is deliberately stagnant, right? And the Horn Eaters culture doesn't have the technology that
they just don't have shard blades. They have they came down to like fight people. They definitely have to be able to like fight on their level. Like I don't understand where you're getting this like stagnation or primitive nature from. They're just different.
Because the commentary in the book comes in the fact that the Alethi kingdom has developed technology and has started to move forward away from oil and fire and these things that everyone else uses, but that Alethi has moved on from because of their ability to create technology with Stormlight, right? It's similar in Wheel of Time, where like the Aiel have lived the exact same way since the breaking, right? And you kind of get into this like when the Aiel come into the other countries, there are technologies to make life better and medicines and things that the Aiel don't have. They have their own cultural things that are like built from the desert, but they are culturally stagnant in that they have traditions that are so hardcore that it keeps them from progressing or growing anything new, right? They're stuck in sort of a way of life. And I just find it interesting that we have a similar neighboring culture of war-focused people who also are redheads. The Horn Eaters are like, the way that we settle shit is we fight.
No, they say that the way that they settle shit is to get drunk and dance.
Oh, no, not within their own culture. Like, they come down the mountain and they're like a warrior culture.
No, they just want shard blades. They're not a warrior culture. They're just trying to get a shard blade because they're like one of the only peoples that don't have one.
Yes, but their culture is built on the fact that if their guy loses, they all are owned by the person he lost to.
Sure, like, but that's not a warrior culture. That's just a cultural thing.
A cultural thing of what? It's related to battle. I would say that that's an element of warrior culture that...
No, the Alethi are the warriors. Everything is a fight. They compete within themselves.
I would agree with that as well. Yeah.
Like, I really don't see the Horn Eaters as being that different. Like, at all. They just live up in the mountains and they eat slightly different food. And their names mean something. It's kind of all that we know.
Sure, yeah.
I think it's the perspective of the book of, like, Taz, I think it is, being like, fucking Horn Eaters or whatever. Like, but I don't actually see them and their people as being either stagnant or, like, primitive or, like, the only thing that they don't have that everyone else seems to have is a shard blade.
All right.
I don't even know if they use Stormlight.
Well, but in this world, that would be what is primitive,
But
right?
that's what I mean. They might use Stormlight.
I think that I'm saying primitive about it because of the way that Dalinar reacts to, like, the use of fire in the past, right? Like, he literally calls not using Stormlight primitive in this world.
Which is what I'm saying. The Horn Eaters might use Stormlight. The only people we know don't use Stormlight are the, like, rock monk people.
Well, I don't know that they would actually be able to use Stormlight up on top of the mountain because I don't think they get high storms. I think that one of the interesting things about this world is that it functions in pieces, right?
You don't think that the higher up on the mountain, they wouldn't get the storms?
No, because the whole purpose of the mountains is to block the storms from making it to the... It's sort of like where we live, right? Like, the storms start in the clouds above the mountains, but the storms hit Calgary.
Yeah, I mean, I just would have thought that they would have, like, protections against the storms. I don't... Look, the storms are clearly like a magical thing that I'm not 100% sure how they work or where they track, because there's some places that get some, but some places that don't.
The storms start in the opposite direction. And so by the time the storms get to the mountains the Horn Eaters are from, I feel like that's like the end of it.
Lessened.
They might get the end of the storm.
So map-wise, and chat, feel free to
because the Horn Eaters are from the west, right? So the Horn Eaters are on the mountain range here.
Which
then Alethi's here, and the Origin's here.
So in the interlude, the valley that they're in where the storms don't come, I can't remember what it's called now.
Shin
that's
is
on the other side of the
place.
mountain.
Shin is another place.
Isn't that on the valley, the other side of the mountain that the Horn-Eaters are from?
Yeah.
So you've got like the Alethi on this side, and then like the Horn-Eaters, and then the Shin, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
We don't own a physical copy of this book. Did you bring the Kindle in here?
No, and like scrolling through it to try and find maps is like.
Roshar. This is the map from the book.
From the book? Okay.
So. Yeah, so
Horn-Eater
Alethi...
peaks are in the east, right? Because the storms come from the west.
So the Shattered Plane is here.
Okay.
The origins are here.
Okay.
And then Shin is... I don't even fucking know.
Shinovar.
Oh, Shin's on the other
all
side.
All the way over there. Yeah. So are those is that the mountain range that like the...
No, the Horn-Eaters have to be from here.
Why?
Because the Horn-Eaters have to be close to a Lethkar.
Oh, okay.
Or no, here. They're from here.
Sorry, storms, come from the east.
Yeah, but the Horn-Eaters are in the west, over here. So I think that's the high storms hit here, but I don't know that the high storms are going to get all the way up to here. Because I don't think the high storms get to Jakaved.
Do they not?
I don't think so. I think that the storms only hit here. We could be wrong. We'll learn more about it as we go.
Yeah. Because the storms definitely.
Yeah, no, I was right. Yeah.
Across.
I was right about where I thought things were.
Yeah, no, Shinovar is just like way further over and different.
Yeah, I didn't. That's what I was saying. It's just a different place because it's literally like Shinovar is
cool.
in a totally other place.
Cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Fun. This map actually was very helpful. There's the Pure Lake, which is cool.
Where's the Pure Lake?
Right in the middle, kind of.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I love that the map looks like almost like a hurricane. You see it?
No. What?
Like it's almost like
this
a figure
part
eight.
looks like a hurricane.
No, it's almost like if this was the center.
Yeah.
Those are the two directions that are like spinning. Like the map looks like this.
Yeah. That's not the shape of a hurricane, but it's cool.
Isn't the eye of the storm like where like
hurricanes are circles?
Oh,
they're big. They're big old.
It's
tornadoes.
the shape of a dual hurricane, which is probably a thing.
If a hurricane started to like this is what a hurricane looks like.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't know what I'm picturing in my head.
I don't know either. You were like, it's like
Google...
it's like an 8, and I'm like, that no hurricane has ever looked like an 8.
What if we go like dual hurricane? Does that give me? No, they're just two side by side. Okay, never mind. I'm wrong.
That could maybe be Roshar a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm trying to give it to you.
Yeah. Oh, did that? Well, no, that's kind of They're spinning like the same way. It doesn't matter. It's shaped kind of what looks like a storm, and the fact that they have high storms is cool. Okay.
You know those hurricanes that are shaped like whoa.
I thought that they went around.
Guys, we're still in chapter 21.
Fucking Christ.
I didn't mean to dismiss. I just want to say I didn't mean to dismiss rock culture. Okay, rocks culture. I didn't mean to dismiss the Horn-Eaters.
How dare you dismiss redheads?
I just found it interesting that they're gingers. Okay, but I am right that shades become gingers, and
you are. Shalyn is also a ginger. There's like different places on the map that have ginger hair. Which is super interesting that like hair color is so specific because like there's the people who have
maybe she's part rock eater.
No, she says it's because of a certain.
Yeah. I can't remember what it is.
Can't fucking remember what it was.
So Kaladin goes to Gaz and is like, hey, we need to go into we need to go pick rocks.
Just want to say, Arzu, welcome back to the Nerd Table. Thank you so much for that. Storms travel from east to west, slowly losing strength as it travels over the land. Yes. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a hurricane-ish.
Yeah. And so he's like, hey, Gaz, we want to take over the stone duty tomorrow. And Gaz is like, you don't want to do that. And he's like, no, we do. And then everyone's mad at Kaladin again. But he's like, rock, Teft. We're going to go.
Oh, Teft, not Taz. Okay. I know.
You thought it was Gaz and Taz? If it was Gaz and Taz, that would be hilarious.
I would hate that.
The ongoing adventures of Gaz and Taz. We're going to go pick some plants.
Yeah.
Chapter 22, eyes, hands, or spheres. Did you get this joke?
No.
I thought it was maybe the spheres were his testicles. Of the wit
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, okay.
Of the wit stuff that I think is mostly well written, the eyes, hands are spheres thing that this chapter is written after wasn't the strongest.
Yeah.
I was like trying to figure that one out, and I
Yeah.
was like, all right, that wasn't the wittiest thing you've said
It's
so
a
far.
balls joke.
Yeah.
Look, there have been some great funny moments. This was just kind of like, all right.
The problem with if you're gonna do a balls joke, keep it short. The balls, for me, the eyes, hands are spheres thing. It was too long a runway to too short a gate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Far be it from me to comment on comedy as a person who is not funny, but I don't know.
It was fine.
Yeah. Dalinar goes to the king's feast. And he says in that chapter he was lowering himself to their level with the body jokes. Yeah, but you can tell body jokes that are good, is all I'm saying.
Well, there were so many good moments. I was like,
Yeah, well, and his insults of everybody else I felt were like pretty solid. Like, I was like, oh, Wit's kind of, he was like doing a tight 5 and he was kind of crushing it. And then I felt like he just kind of lost me a little bit on the balls joke. And I was like, okay, that's
comedians have to be funny for like long periods of time. You eventually, you resort to like some base humor because you run out of material.
I spent the entire chapter trying to figure out how the title related to the chapter in a second way.
Oh.
And I couldn't really find it.
Like, what's the double meaning here?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying new material. He was in a small comedy club trying out new material, see how it reads.
Anyway, so they go in. Wit kind of gives Dalinar some more cryptic warnings. Wit really does seem...
Like Hoyd?
Wit really does... Well, I don't know about that anymore. But Wit really does seem like he's on Dalinar's side.
Yeah.
On some level, and I find that very interesting. I think that he is... There's something going on, and I feel like the Wit is aware of something that only he's aware of that we're going to find out later, and I can't wait to see what that is.
Yeah. It's just the otherworldliness that people see in him that I feel like is kind of suspicious, but yeah, Dalinar's kind of like annoyed at everybody because they dress really sloppy, and it's like wartime, even though they're not really fighting a war, they're just...
And they also have not been attacked at the center of the war camps.
They're basically just having a, like, resource... competition. I mean, I guess a resource war, but like still. But
they're not holding to the codes.
Yeah.
And this is where I wish that I could have a conversation with Dalinar. Because one thing that I try and... One bit of advice that I give people when they're struggling with their relationships with other people. Because it's something that I did to change my relationships with other people. And I felt like it was effective. Was I don't hold people to expectations they don't hold for themselves. Because I'm just being unfair to them and I'm upsetting myself. Nobody wins,
right?
When I hold them to an expectation that I do not, that they are not aware of,
yeah,
right? And I think that Dalinar is in some ways making his life more difficult by being like, they are not following the book they haven't read.
Yeah,
and I think that this
although
happens...
I think that the codes are more commonplace knowledge than the actual Way of King's book is.
Sure, but nobody follows them. And
and Dalinar didn't until recently either.
I think there's a big difference between trying or saying that you're going to do something and then not, which I think is dishonorable, and not ever acknowledging that you're going to do something and then not doing it because you never said that you were going to.
Yeah.
And I think that Dalinar is causing himself a lot of difficulty by... being so judgmental of people for reasons that they had never said that they were going to do.
Yeah.
And that he does not have power over them, right? Yeah. The men under his command are doing what he asks, right? And so I think that it is fair for people under your command for you to be like, I'm holding you to this expectation, and you either live up to the expectation or not, right?
Yeah, I mean, he obviously has, like, say over his men, but the other High Princes, what's he gonna do? Just be like, why aren't you doing the things that I'm doing? Like, I think that, honestly, for an army, in a way, it is, well, I don't know anything about war strategy, but I think that like there is something to be said about having like different and divided factions who like have different strengths or use different tactics or whatever. And
I mean, we literally, like, the American military has the Navy,
true
the Marines. Like, we still do that. You know what I mean?
That is true.
And the expectations for those people are different. And they you know, I think that I see this a lot in particularly Americans abroad, is that they are the expectation of how people are going to behave is high, and then when the Americans stop enjoying their trip is when they feel like the locals are not behaving in the way that they want them to. And it's like, well, those people live their life the way that they live their life. You showing up and expect them to suddenly cater to the way that you want them to live their life isn't a fair expectation that does not benefit you.
Yeah.
It does not make your time better.
Yeah.
And so there is something to the ability to be flexible with people who, and not with his men. I think that Dalinar is perfectly within his right and is probably right about the way that he expects his men to behave, because he's trying to have cohesion and all of those things that I think are very important for military.
Yeah, and like, you know, not being drunk in case you get attacked seems like pretty reasonable to me.
I think when you're at the feast, the expectation that like you're going to be the one to defend them. Being the shard bearers though is different.
Yeah.
There's a certain, you know, there's something put on you when you're a shard bearer.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's interesting that I feel like he's causing so many of his problems by being like, you should behave the way I want you to.
Yeah.
Which feels short-sighted in a way. I think that it is of a character that I love, and I think Dalinar is great. I would say it's one of his few failings.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Judah, thank you so much for that super chat. When I first read the book, I saw Dalinar as someone who's trying really hard to be good and honorable, but everyone else sees a hypocrite because of his past.
Ooh, I like that take on it.
Yeah. It is unfortunate, but like some people, a lot of people don't allow others to grow and become better than the image they have of them in their head. Like, right? Like, I think that in a way it kind of ties into like cancel culture.
Yeah.
Where like, you know, people have made mistakes in their past. Do I think we need to go digging up like 20-year-old fucking tweets to like hang a person for? No, I think that people should be allowed to become better and make amends and grow as people.
Yeah.
But like, a lot of people disagree. They say, no, like, the mistakes of your past are who you are for the rest of your life, which I think is bullshit. But it does feel like that here, that, like, the High Princes have a view of Dalinar, and Dalinar is trying to grow and, like, understand his brother better and make amends for being fucking passed out drunk when his brother died. The other High Princes just, like, hold that against him. It's Dalinar and Sadeas. The two of them as well, like Sadeas can't ever forgive Dalinar for this thing, and sees his like choices as weak, and it's complicated in a way that I find honestly really interesting, but it also makes me fucking sad. like oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and so he goes and he sits and starts to eat. And he finds out that the rumor has spread that he brought up ending the Vengeance Pact to the king, which is causing him some
Elhokar, you
easily
idiot.
foreseen problems.
Yeah, Elhokar's a fucking idiot.
Elhokar is an idiot.
We meet his mother in this
chapter. I will. Let's get through this first, and then we'll get to Navani, because I was gonna say
Navani. Even she's like, he's terrible at this.
But I wanted to ask you this. I'm Dalinar. Never mind, I lost it. Let's talk about Navani. So he looks across and he sees a woman enter, and he's eating. And he's like, I'm going to eat very slowly so that she can't come say hi to me.
She can't interrupt me while I'm eating, because that would be rude.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that for them.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate all of it, but I get it.
Yeah. Anyways, Navani is great. We finally...
So Alikin1 on Twitch is like, you people don't even have at least 5,000 followers, and yet y'all doing podcasts like y'all have viewers and chatters.
Who's gonna tell him?
We're restreaming, dude. Like,
It's fine.
Come over to YouTube. Come hang out.
Come over to YouTube.
On YouTube. There's no ads on YouTube.
Yeah, it's true. What are you doing over on Twitch?
Can you imagine showing up to his chat and just being a dick because you don't know what's going on? Some people are so fucking stupid.
I fucking love that.
I just, yeah, it's wild.
Actually, no, he's right. There's nobody here.
There's nobody
All
here.
of these paid members in the chat actually bots.
Yeah.
But, yeah, crazy.
No, we're just talking to ourselves.
There's always one. See? James Ross, I'm not here. Exactly.
Yeah, no. Yeah, God, it's a shame that this show is such a failure that we've been doing it for 2.5 years.
I know. Yeah.
Really, really disappointed in it.
Yeah.
We've only been panelists at Star Wars Celebration twice.
We should just quit. Quit while we're ahead.
What's up, Boom Metal Desu? Thank you for being here. Brother Armand says, if you had to choose...
Roger, we don't pay you to be here. Are you kidding me?
This is the question. Thank you. Brother Armand saved me.
Oh.
What do you think of the men's food, women's food thing?
Oh, fucking Christ, man. The gender differences in this book are, so arbitrary. It's like, oh, yeah, women's food was too sweet. I'm like, what, do y'all have different taste buds? What if you're a woman and you're like, wow, I fucking hate this food? What are you supposed to do? Go steal from the kitchens to eat, man's food? This is so goofy.
It is the one thing I don't...
It's interesting world building. I just read it and I'm like, this is
I don't
goofy.
agree with that.
Oh, okay.
I find it to be too... I think the gender divide is a little bit too harsh for me right now. In ways that just kind of make me roll my eyes. And I don't actually think are very interesting. Yeah. Because I can't really see a purpose for them. Mm-hmm. I think it's really fun. It is sort of the one thing I don't love about the book. Is the men don't write and women do this and men do that, and it feels like Brandon Sanderson is drawing these really harsh gender lines, but is not writing great women to show the other side of it. And so we just sort of are seeing all of this from the men's perspective.
I mean, Navani is great, yeah, but...
we don't see what's... I know nothing about her other than Dalinar wants to fuck his brother's wife, right? Yeah. She doesn't have a personality. Yeah. And so I feel like it's the only part of this book that feels a little bit like Brandon Sanderson read Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And then wrote his fantasy book. But
isn't that the point? Isn't that this is so ridiculous that it's
I know, but I don't want it to be ridiculous. I want to feel like it's a real place.
You want there to be legitimate gender disparities?
Yeah. I think that's more interesting, because then when Shallan overcomes them, it's...
But no, the point is that they're dumb in real life. The point is that they are just dumb across the board. The gender disparities in our real world are fucking stupid. Women, sandwiches, and babies. That's it.
Well, no, I think I think it's more complicated than that. I think that gender disparities across history aren't necessarily always dumb, and at times have made a lot of sense.
Well,
I think that there are certain...
dangerous waters, guys.
No, I don't think so. I think that, I think that we live in a time where it's so much easier for women to not be in the, giving birth as a phase of life, right? But that wasn't always true. For a lot of human history, the pregnancy cycle was a significant chunk of a woman's, the middle of her life. And there's cultural and social and societal reasons for that aren't just sexism, but a function of the way in which we had to build society that we don't have to do now.
Primitive.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think this.
But we are far more technologically advanced than them.
Well. Yes, but also, when you have magic, I think that technology is stunted in favor of magic. It's just kind of...
Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. Gender roles in real life are stupid and arbitrary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Arzu, let's discuss the pink tax.
Yeah.
Well, no, and stuff like that. I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that, that is... I agree with you guys. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that, the idea that all social roles being down to gender on some level forever has always been like dumb, I don't agree with.
Well,
I think historically there are
parallels of like there are some that are like actually have a point and some that don't. I think that like, you know, the men go to war or whatever it is, right? But also it's like forcibly dressing your son in blue and your daughter in pink is the like food thing. Like it's goofy. It doesn't make sense. It has no purpose and provides no like there is no reason for it other than well, some people did it.
Sure, I just think that this book, the one thing about the cultural element of this book that doesn't work for me fully is the way in which the society is broken down into gender roles so harshly that men and neither a man nor a woman is really capable of getting through the day on their own. Like, you can't independently accomplish anything because the gender roles are built in a way where it is actually like inefficient at every level for a man and a woman to be alone running a business.
But I think that
you have to have a woman to do anything.
I think that is because of the need, the forcible need to grow as a society. If you force men and women to have to pair together and get married and then have families and have children, like
but that isn't the function of any of these rules. The rules are not about children at all. The rules are about
No, but you force them
writing
together into marriage, right? If you're a man and you can't fucking read by yourself, it's like, okay, well, I guess I better get married, and therefore you're probably having sex and babies. Like, it is a way to force society to grow faster. It's like baby boom because you force people to not be able to function without a member of the opposite sex in your close immediate circle, and the easiest way to do that is marriage. If you don't have immediate like family that you trust, it is to literally like farm babies.
Yeah, maybe. I would buy it if the book kind of gets into that a little bit more. And the way we would do that is through Adelin's story. Is to kind of like build up like what the purpose of his like a bunch of like I just find
cycling through the rotating door,
making women the only people able to do a lot of this stuff and then making it so that they can only use one hand is one of the
it is a sexist thing because you cripple them and they are half as efficient.
Yeah
it is is
this society sexist?
I mean,
and like that's where I rub up against.
It is inherently sexist because they believe that there are differences between men and women. Whether or not it's a patriarchy or a misogynistic, that's a whole other question. But but the hiding of the hand definitely feels like a way to cripple women's ability to function and do tasks by themselves.
As Sean says, religion doesn't make sense sometimes. It's okay. I would love for the book to get more into the religion side of it. To understand I don't know what their religion is.
Spoilers.
At all.
Because the guy
I know, but it is the reason why this shit is happening.
Totally.
And so the fact that like you're telling me the end result, but like
I think it's
are these people religious? Because Dalinar does not come across as religious at all.
But I think that it was brought up in the preludes because it's going to like be important and they're going to get into that. Because the guy brings it up and he's like, oh, whatever. They don't even know why. And I think that like all of this stuff was like lost, and it is going to be kind of part of the reveal. I think.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you so much for that.
Alethi ignore these super dumb gender roles language, and so do we in real life. I feel like Brandon is doing this on purpose to make us look at ours.
Which it has been for me.
Has it?
Yeah. I look at this and I'm like, this is fucking dumb. And then I think of all of the dumb shit in the real world that's like, women can't do this or men can't do that. I'm like, oh my god, like.
But what is it that women can't do that you feel like is similar to this book?
Well,
I know that's obviously harder now, right? Because of the world we live in now. But
we've like progressed past like a certain point for sure. But it just it reminds me of like silly things like when I was in school. Like, for example, like the food stuff is like, doesn't matter, it's fucking arbitrary. And then when I was in school, it's like, well, the boys get to compete with the boys and the girls get to compete with the girls. When you're 7 years old, your bodies are like basically the same. Like, there's no hormones involved yet. Like, the weird, like, segregation of, like, classes or sports or whatever, like, that kind of thing is fucking dumb. Obviously, going back a bit in history, it's like, yeah, remember when women couldn't fucking own property without a man or get a credit card or, like, you know, just, like, dumb bullshit like that where I just roll my fucking eyes.
Here's my thing with that, though, is that the book isn't a male dominant culture.
Dress codes. That's the fucking one. Dudes could show up shirtless to class, and I wear a like.
What? No, we couldn't. I had to wear a shirt. That's not a.
It's fine. Yeah, I fought my teachers so hard on the stupid fucking dress codes because they would be like, oh well, your skirt and shorts has to be where your like fingertips reach your thigh or whatever, and then it was like, oh well no, actually it's gotta be like, because I would fucking measure my shit and be, well no, it's too provocative, it has to be 2 inches. I wore it like an Alice in Wonderland costume that was about mid-thigh, but it was poofy because it had a crinoline underneath, and it had a strap here, and then it had like an open slit in the shoulder here with like a poofy sleeve, and they were like, my teachers were like, this is so inappropriate, you need to change. And I was like, why? Why? I'm in thigh highs, there's about this much of my skin showing on my leg. I'm 16 years old. Why are you telling me that this like cute poofy princess dress is inappropriate to wear? It was like this. It was like a cross like this, whatever. And like the dudes, it would show up like would in a Halloween costume in like just like suspenders and like maybe like a muscle shirt that was like showing full chest, full arms. Like there was a guy in our school who wore shorts every single day. And
those, like a tank top. Like I could see that.
It's like dumb fucking shit like that. Then I'm like, why? I'm a high schooler dealing with trying to learn and prepare for my future. And you're gonna fucking just shame me for wearing something that's comfortable in fucking 30-degree weather, you know what I mean? Like, it was so fucking annoying.
I think that what I'm wrestling with this book, though, in compared to our real world culture, is that our culture is very patriarchal. And so I understand that women have hardships here because of the male-dominated version of our society. Yeah. The book doesn't read as patriarchal to me. It reads as separate. Like, the way in which men and women culture in this book, they don't interact.
The sleeves were what made it for me. That immediately made me go, yikes.
I get that one. Yeah. I totally understand that. I think the food in this was a little bit of a step too far to me. The fact that you're like, these people eat sweet shit and these people eat gravy shit was where I go like...
I thought it was like spicy, but yeah.
So, well, I think it's just bland, right? And so I think that like this book, if I could like feel like there was like a male dominated thing in this book that made it make a little bit more sense, and if I felt like the society felt a little bit more like it made sense, I think that I would enjoy it a little bit more. But it just I kind of laugh at it every time. It's a very serious book about very serious things. Yeah. And every time the gender role stuff a new gender role thing is brought up, it's almost like the gender role stuff is the comedic relief of the book.
I mean, it kind of, like, I was like, this is so, like, I chuckled at it. I was like, oh my God, this is so silly. In a similar way that I find, I find stuff that I've gone through silly. It's like men being like, well, women are really emotional. Meanwhile, they don't have the emotional intelligence of a fucking 6-year-old because, to be fair, they've been stunted. It's not necessarily their, like, fault. But this whole, like, women are emotional and men are strong is, like, again, it's arbitrary and it's dumb. Because someone somewhere decided that women were emotional because when they wanted to express their feelings, they were told they had hysteria and, they had a baby and were sad and, like, had depression. It's like, oh, well, you're just being a woman. Just woman things. Like stuff that, like, stems from that, that's, like, just, like, that people believe and, like, practice today. Like, there are people who raise their boys to never cry or be emotional or, like, show anything, and that's horrific because it's this weird arbitrary idea that we came up with that men aren't allowed to cry.
What does that have to do with the book?
It's like arbitrary and dumb in the ways that, like, the food is dumb, that, like, men can't read without a woman are, like, so goofy.
But the men can't read without a woman is detrimental.
Yeah.
Like, it's deeply
Same way
detrimental.
that men cannot be emotional is totally detrimental to their health. We're in a fucking crisis right now of men who do not have emotional intelligence because they haven't been allowed to develop it and then blame it on women. And it's just like this vicious, horrible circle. Because, the no reading thing, detrimental. The one hand thing, detrimental. It's like, yeah. Ernest, thank you for that super duper chat. Let's fucking go. Whereas the male dominant thing, it's the highest calling in their religion. The gender roles are mostly religious based and historical based. That is true. That like they believe that the best thing in life that you can be is a warrior, and that the men are the warriors. So that is a little bit.
It's fair.
A little smidge misogynistic. But yeah, it's I can understand why you read this and you're like, what the fuck, that's cringe. But for me, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, people are like that.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think that it might just be I don't necessarily think that it is the strength of Brandon Sanderson's writing. I think that he draws so broadly with his social kind of criticisms in this that I don't think that it's a great criticism. I think that I think that that's really what I'm getting at is I understand. I'm not saying that we live in an equal society. I'm very aware of that, right?
Yeah.
But I do think that and I felt this way similarly in some of the criticisms of it that he wrote into Warbreaker. And Elantris too, right?
Yeah.
I think that Brandon Sanderson kind of writes the same thing every time. And he draws these very distinct gender dynamic roles and then doesn't do any of the unpacking of them. He just kind of creates them.
Because I think, and I think it's because he comes at it from the place of privilege.
Yeah.
Right? He's a white male. And I think that...
And it seems dominated by white men. Or the dominant men of their culture.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that, if he wants to write about these things in his book, he needs to experience whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I do think that it does feel like it is from the perspective of him, being, the highest privileged person in society, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I still think that it's, valid criticism, but, I think that's why where it comes from.
I just find that his fantasy world building is always this.
Yeah.
In everything.
Yeah.
And so, it's... it's always this. And I would be interested to see him write a fantasy world that goes about it a different way. Sure. Instead of kind of always creating fantasy worlds that have the same broad criticism. Yeah. And the same kind of allegory that is painted in these broad strokes of women do this and men do this. Yeah. With these I think that it's because his fantasy worlds always have very harsh lines that don't get blurred. In the way that I think the real world blurs lines constantly.
The real world is complicated, but he's not necessarily telling a story about gender disparity. But
he writes gender disparity into everything, and then never complicates it. It is never more complicated than this is a kooky thing about the world, and I would love for it to be. And I'm hoping that Yasna will complicate it somehow, or will bring in characters that complicate it later on. Yeah. I find the way that he writes it in all of these things, except maybe Mistborn, because there aren't, but even Mistborn has really strong gender divides in it, right? That are just kind of broken because Vin...
Less so, but...
Well, but Vin lives outside of... Because it's written from lower status people, Vin lives outside of the society that has those expectations. But when we look at Chandelarial, that kind of same gender divide... It very much affects her, right?
Yeah. I just think that, a book can't be about everything. So, him, writing this in as world-building stuff, and look, we're, almost halfway through the book, but, I think there are characters that may complicate it, but I think that, you can't write about everything in your book, otherwise it is going to be a million words long. And so I don't fault him for using it as a world building thing, but not necessarily getting into it when he's trying to tell a different story.
Yeah, I just hope it gets more complicated this time. Yeah. Because it is one of the things that I think made me less interested in Warbreaker as it went on, is that it didn't, I didn't feel like that went anywhere with it. Yeah. It just kind of used it to be look at how weird this world is. Yeah. And then it doesn't there's not that next step of like unpacking it and examining how a real culture interacts with its norms.
Yes.
It just kind of brings up some stuff to be like, ooh, it's fantasy.
Yeah.
And then it moves on.
Yeah.
What?
Sorry, I'm trying to not let the super chat disappear. Chris, thank you for the super chat. Just because it becomes obvious too quickly, becoming too much doesn't mean it gets the point across to everyone else as quickly.
Yeah.
That is also fair. Some people did not realize that The Boys was making fun of them until season 4. So I guess sometimes you really gotta like be blunt about it.
Yeah, it's true.
No, that is a valid point as well. Anyways, I wasn't expecting the food thing to go on for that long. I'm sorry.
I was.
Well, there you go.
I know our show well enough. And there's going to be people who are mad that we talked about it at all. And they're going to be like, why do you even care? Women are different. And I'm like, that's really not the point of the conversation.
You missed the point, and you missed it. It's over there. So, yeah, Navani shows up. She's great. She's like the hottest woman in the world. She is mommy, literally. She's Elikar's mom. She married Gavilar the king, but she was courted by both Dalinar.
Did you just turn into me?
I was like, Dalinar, and I was like, that's not right. That's not right.
That's not right at all.
Yeah, she was courting both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Dalinar still's got the hots for her because she's hot. But it's like, oh, it's weird because Dalinar. Yes.
Namami. Well, and I think that it is interesting, right? Like, the idea of...
Yes, mom has got it going.
The idea of someone writing into their will that she is now your sister. I don't really get how you write that into a will. Like, what is the language in the will that makes her now his sister?
It's not in the will. It's that they are family through marriage.
In the
right?
book. No, in this book. In the Dalinar chapter, he says Galavar made her in his will my sister. That is straight up a line in the book.
I don't think so. I missed it, and chat says no. I don't think it's...
What?
I don't know if they talk about his will at all. I have no idea.
This is in the book.
I didn't find it there.
Fuck, we don't have a physical copy. I could find it.
No, sorry. Sorry, babe. Most of these people have read this book several times. But yeah, it's more of a cultural thing. Like, you marry into a family and they become your family. Like, that's just kind of like, it's like sister-in-law, it becomes is treated as your sister.
I can't Google anything.
No.
Okay. But if I find this line...
Go for it.
...in the book, yeah. I'm going to post in the Discord, and you're all going to be fucking wrong. You're all going to be wrong.
Yeah.
Where's the Kindle?
It's in my room. You're not going to find it now. You're going to have to do it later, because it's going to take you a while.
I'm going to find it. I'll be back. Talk about the book.
You're going to scroll through that Kindle with that teeny little bar. Oh, my God damn it.
I know I'm right!
No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know, it's the letters things all over again. Chat, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We are 2 chapters in. I know, I'm so sorry. Anyways, Navani is great. She is hilarious. She wants Dalinar so bad. And he's like super uncomfy about it because he thinks that she's hot, but also it's like, that's my brother's wife. That's fucking weird. And then Elhokar, because he's a fucking idiot. Oh my God. He's like, well, you know what? Because this whole strap situation and the attempt on my life, while my horse was in the care of Dalinar, I'm going to appoint High Prince Sadeas as High Prince of Information, I think. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. Thank you. Yeah. Elhokar is a dum-dum. And at least Navani knows it. She's like, look, my son might be my son, but he's kind of a shit king. And Dalinar's like, that's fucking treason. And she's like, I'm his mom. I'm allowed to say what the fuck I want to say. This is gonna get messy and I don't like it. I still don't trust Sadeas. I know the vision was like, you need to trust Sadeas, but I still don't trust him. Oh my god. Nerdy, I think you're looking for chapter 22, page 356. I don't know if it's the same on the Kindle version. Like, because we don't actually have the physical book for this. Chapter 23. We go back to Bridge 4. They're doing the rock duty because they can soul cast rocks into food, which is bonkers, but yeah, okay.
Wait, am I right?
Huh? What do you mean, are you right? No, chat thinks you're wrong. Why?
Oh. Yeah, no, it's not in the will.
No.
It's just with Gavilar dead, Navani was now to be treated as Dalinar's sister.
There you have it.
I don't know
folks.
how I invented the will part of
I
this.
have no idea. Like, actually, very confused. But I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you, like, you know, you committed to proving yourself wrong.
All right. Well,
So,
show's been fun. I'm gonna quit.
no, don't
I don't
quit.
want to do this anymore.
This is
I'm
why
done.
this is why chat
Guys,
loves you.
No, they don't. They don't. They love you, and I'm just here.
That's not true.
I'm just Ken. Anywhere else I'd be a 10.
Hey, it's fine. I have done
I was so confident,
I have done
Breezy.
the same thing.
I was so confident.
I can't think of any examples, but I've definitely done the same thing.
I mean, you just got so uppity about me being wrong about the Shades having red hair, and I was right about that.
Shades are not a race of people.
I don't care. I was right about it.
Sure.
I was!
There are 2 shades that have red hair. That is correct.
They're described as their hair and eyes become red when they become shades. I was fucking right about it, okay? You're just upset because you've read Aragon so many times and you were wrong.
Yeah.
Let me have that one because I'm wrong about this one.
You know what? I'll let you have that one.
Why are you being so condescending
No,
about
I said
it?
I'm going to let you have that one.
Yeah, in the most condescending tone possible. You've been really mean to me for a week on video. You're really nice to me in person. One of the things that people don't understand when they comment on our videos is they're like, sometimes they'll comment on vibe things or shit on camera. And it's so funny to us because we'll sit there and we'll be like, oh, they don't know that this isn't real.
Get it.
Like, this is somewhat real, you know? Like, we're not lying on here.
No,
but there's
it
also
is
an element
a
of
show.
performance. Yeah.
Like the things that we like argue about, we like ham it up because it's funny.
But we don't argue off camera.
No.
Yeah.
We don't like fight. Like,
and if we need to have a conversation, we have a conversation. But like, we only fight on camera.
we've had like 4 serious conversations in our relationship.
But we've never yelled.
Yeah. Not once.
Yeah. Anyway.
There was one time you definitely were like very, 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 very upset with me for like 2 days because you misheard me.
Okay, but it was pretty easy to mishear you.
Well, yeah, we were like in bed and lying down, so it was like, but I was like, I don't know
You were
why he's
skirting
so
the
mad
edge
at
of.
me.
You were skirting the edge of something with that one.
Doesn't matter.
Anyway, I like Navani a lot.
Yeah, she's
It's
great.
interesting that she comes in sort of as the audience POV on Dalinar. In some ways, particularly in the final chapter, right? I think that Navani acts as a way for Brandon to comment on, I think that the intended reaction he wants his audience to be having towards Dalinar at the time. And in doing so, creates sort of an easy bond between a character and the audience, right? Where because she's sort of bringing up the intended feelings that he wants his audience to have and is the representative of those within a scene, you feel connected to rather quickly.
Yeah. Sarah, thank you so much for another super chat. It's any consolation. I've read this book 4 times and I forget everything. I understand. My brain is a save.
Yep. See?
Yep. I come into the show not remembering anything.
Proud of you.
You know what? I've been there. It's why I like to reread books, because I will forget. It will just fall out of my head.
Did you talk about how she sits a chair close enough to the table?
Oh, no.
She literally is like, I'm not sitting with you.
Yeah. But, like, I'm sitting beside you. Sitting near you.
So dumb.
I loved it. James Ross, thank you for that super chat. Hey, Nerd and Claire, some marriage advice. Don't keep score. Let chat do that.
We don't keep score.
Yeah.
Well, we don't.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I could not. I don't remember shit. How could I keep a score?
Yeah.
Like, genuinely.
I honestly, I think that one of the reasons why our marriage is as successful as it is because we both move on from stuff really fast mentally.
Yeah.
Like, even when we're upset, and like, yeah, there was one time I was upset for like a day. I think it was one day. I don't even think it was two. I think we talked before bed.
No.
I think it was like 24 hours.
No, it was a horrible 2 days. Because I was like, I don't understand. I made a joke.
Maybe it's 2 days. But
was
like,
I
it's
not supposed to joke in that moment? I've said this before and I didn't.
It's... Even that, though, like, I don't really remember it that well.
Oh, I remember it vividly. Vividly.
Well, because, yeah, I understand why.
Because I was like... What did I do? And I don't want to give context to it unless you like.
We don't need to talk about it, but even that like, we moved on from.
Yeah.
Pretty,
it was fine.
Yeah.
It just was like I will probably never forget it. There are some things that like I never forget, and that is one of them. Marriage. Love that for us. Nice T-shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice T-shirt. I'm gonna go play.
Yeah, so she sits close, but not too close. We need to get moving, babe. We're an hour and a half in.
Yeah.
And then we get King Elhokar announcing that High Prince Sadeas is going to be the High Prince of Investigation, or Information, so that he can investigate. And this snubs Dalinar, and it's bad. It is a bad, bad moment for Dalinar. Our boy is fucked. Chapter 23, many uses. This is back with Bridge 4. They are finding stones because it is easier to soul cast smaller stones into smaller things than it is to just like soul cast the ground. I don't know why, but I believe it because I didn't write the book. They find a bunch of knobweed, and basically like Syl, by being a fucking magical fairy thing, is able to find the knobweed really fast. And so they find some bushels of it. They hide it up under the wheel, and then they go back and get it later. And we kind of, not a lot happens in this chapter, but we do get Teft and Kaladin kind of talking. Rock reveals what we talked about earlier about his leader losing a fight, and so he became kind of owned by the person who won. Which was Sadeas. We learned about the Horn Eaters wanting Shard because everyone else has Shard except them, which is really interesting. I think that like the idea that shards are sort of a currency unto themselves is a really fascinating way to explain like the economy of this world and how the kingdoms interact with one another. It also brings up that the Parshendi seem to be acquiring new shards somehow, and yeah, I know we need to fix that.
Fucking carpet.
So we learned that Rock was a cook, and that he makes.
He was a cuck?
That's not what I said at all.
I think that's what you said.
Sure. All right. Very funny.
Sorry. You know what? Let's move on. Anyways.
So where was I and what was I talking about when you interrupted?
Well, the boys are sharing their feelings and backgrounds. It's the get to know each other session in D&D where you sit around the campfire and you're like, yeah, this is my backstory, and yeah, this is my backstory.
Yeah.
It's a good session. Good session. This is probably like session like 13.
What was interesting about it?
Well, we find out that Rock is not a primitive, actually. He just eats shells and things. Which honestly is actually kind of weird. Like, I feel like it would just like cut up the inside of your mouth.
Why?
Shells? Well, they're like hard and like there's like thin shells that can like
we
slice
eat Captain Crunch. That shit cuts up the roof of your mouth.
Yeah, sometimes sandwiches cut open my mouth.
Yeah, dogs can eat
Crispy
a
bread.
lot of bones. Not all bones. Don't feed your dog. It's chicken bones, right? That you can't feed dogs.
I think they're too
No, it's because they
thin?
splinter, and it's the way that they splinter is wrong. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like
I just feel like you got it like if you're always eating
what shells do we eat? Do we eat any shells? I don't know. Maybe we don't.
shells. I think there's like turtle shell soup, but I don't think there's actually pieces of shell in it.
Oh, dogs can't eat cooked bones, but they can eat raw ones. Okay, interesting.
Oh.
Cool.
Okay.
Crab shells? Do we eat crab shells though? I don't really feel like I do.
I don't know. I don't eat crab. You can eat shrimp shells. Yeah, but those are softer. Those are not as
Soft shell
hard.
crabs. Okay.
Interesting.
I don't think I've ever eaten the shell of a crab though. I've only ever eaten the legs, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a seafood person. I don't like I like fish.
I don't
and
eat a lot of
calamari,
seafood, so
and
yeah.
that's about
There's
it.
not a lot of shells in the food that we eat, but
Yeah.
anyway,
It's a good thing the mouth is one of the fastest healing spots in the body.
we also learn here that Kaladin says that he killed a man, but that's not. You were very wrong about this. You were so adamant that it was murder that got him here of a light eyes, and I was like, that doesn't make sense to me. And it's not that. It's that he refused a gift.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I am so confused.
I'm so confused.
so confused.
I am right with you now.
Yeah.
Because I thought, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I thought. I don't know what I thought anymore. But like now I'm like, what do you mean you refused a gift? Because he didn't refuse a shard blade, right?
No, fuck no.
That doesn't make any sense. So like, what would the gift have been? The only thing I can think of is that Kaladin was offered to go to the Shattered Plains as a warrior, but not take his men with him. Or that it has something to do with him being offered something, but he couldn't lift up his men, and his men were going to get passed off to one of the people that he doesn't think does a good job keeping their men alive. And so Kaladin said no because he was choosing his men over whatever the promotion was. It's the only thing it's the only thing right now that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I guess that doesn't feel right, but it's I ain't got anything better.
What feels wrong
so
about it?
confused.
I feel like it would make sense if
Well,
it was like
Kaladin, the only thing he wants to do is go to the Shattered Plains and become like a real soldier.
But it might not be the Shattered Plains exactly. I just mean there might have been a promotion within the Light Eyes thing that would involve him leaving his men behind. And so he says no. He's like, I would rather lead my men.
What do we know about Amaram?
Nothing. Literally fucking nothing.
Bangarang. Sorry, I got Skrillex in my head because I said Amaram. Because Amaram fits perfectly in Skrillex song Bangarang. But then I couldn't make the rest of the noises in a Skrillex song, so I could only say Bangarang. And that's it.
What the fuck is happening?
Well, because I couldn't make the like I can't. It doesn't sound like the actual song, so I don't know.
What the fuck are we doing?
I don't know.
Bangarang!
Amaram and Bangarang in my head fit like they scan properly interchangeably,
Yeah,
okay?
because there's 3 syllables.
But also the emphasis, okay? I don't know. I used to love listening to Skrillex.
What are we doing?
Something you may not know about me.
Why does anyone watch this? This is so fucking stupid. Oh my god.
That might have been one of my most ADHD moments ever.
You didn't even say Amaram, you just said Bangarang.
I know, because I couldn't sing the song, because I can't make the song noises. Y'all know the song I'm referencing, right? You know it, right?
No, I don't.
Wait, you've never heard Bangarang by
I think I
Skrillex?
have. I just can't pull it right now.
Oh.
Oh my god.
It's the Bangarang. Like, oh, just scrolled. My bad. It's fine. It's fine.
Guys, should we just wrap up here and come back next week? Should we just should we start over in a week and see if we can get through it?
Take two.
Take 2.
Yeah. Anyways. No, not the ooh Black Betty Bangarang. The different one. Different. If
That's not Bangarang.
Oh. Is it not? I don't know.
Isn't that Oh, back Betty. Slam a lamb.
Slam a lamb.
Those are the vowels, but those are the wrong consonants.
I don't. You know what? I don't.
Bam a lamb. Whoa, Black Betty. Bam a lamb. Black Betty's got a child. Bam a lamb. Damn thing on wild. Bam a lamb. Whoa,
the
Black
first
Betty.
song that comes up when I put in Skrillex is Bangarang.
Great. Don't play it. We'll get DMCA'd. No, we'll get DMCA'd.
No. This is what it sounds like. You've heard it before.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I didn't know this was called Bangarang, but yeah.
Yeah. You're welcome. Anyways, moving on.
What are we fucking doing? Where
we were
are we?
talking about a book that we read.
Right. Chapter 24, The Gallery of Maps. Dalinar. Mm-hmm. Dalinar is in a map room.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What's up, Ryan?"
I that is probably how you say
Ryan.
it.
I was like, oh, it's just he wrote Ryan and was like, fuck, how do I make Ryan fantasy? And so it's Ryan.
I read it as Royan.
That's still Ryan.
Ryan.
This guy's he's a Ryan.
Yeah. He's one of the 4 Ryans now, because we've got the Ryan Reynolds. We've got Ryan Gosling.
Why did you bring real life Ryans into this? I thought you were talking about fantasy Ryans.
No, it's just Ryan.
I thought we were talking about like Sean's in Wheel of Time.
No.
The 4 Ryans. Oh man.
There's 3 of them, right?
And so Ryan is like the weakest of the high princes. He doesn't have a lot of money, doesn't have a lot of gem hearts. And so Dalinar is like, this is the guy to start my new plan of doing joint assaults of the plateaus.
He's like, hey, if we do this together, we can pool our resources, and if I win a shard blade, I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah, which is gonna kill his son. I really thought...
Well, Ryan didn't take the fucking deal, so...
Oh, sure, but in the middle of this, I thought that that Ryan was gonna say yes, they were gonna get shard, and that... The story here was going to be that he doesn't give it to Renarin.
Oh my god, and that his son is like, goes on a fucking vengeance.
I really thought that... Oh, yeah, thank you for gifting 10 membos to the community.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, I really thought we were headed towards Renarin not getting the next shard.
Yeah, me too.
And so I was like, oh god, Dalinar, you're about to like turn... Renarin into Adolin's future nemesis.
Yeah, I got a little bit nervous about it, but it was fine. It was fine because Ryan. It
or
just
Renarin
sounds
would
like
like
Ryan with an accent. Ryan, what kind of accent?
His name's Ryan.
Yeah, it sounds like Billy Butcher.
Yeah,
Ryan. Yeah, that's how his son. His son is Ryan. Ryan.
His name's Ryan.
His name's Ryan.
That's why I think that.
It's Ryan. Yeah. That's it.
Fucking cunt. I love that show, guys. Episode 4. Really good. So yeah, I just thought that's where we're going, but then Ryan is like, no, I'm good. I'm not gonna do that because you're weak, old man.
Weak. You fucking weak.
Check the Pix channel on the Discord.
Oh no.
Oh god, what did you guys do now?
What is this?
What did you do now? What did you do?
The Pix channel or the Cosmere channel?
I don't know.
Memes, pics, and videos.
What did you do now?
It's just a cat. Honestly.
You guys interrupted the show to make me go look at a cat?
Yeah.
Guys,
solid.
I'm allergic to cats. What the fuck is wrong with you?
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Like, literally fucking evil. I'm gonna start banning people.
If you at Nerdy Nightly, banned in the chat. No,
if you at me cat pics, I will ban you from the Discord.
Why? Cats are the best.
Because I am allergic to them and I will die.
Yeah, but you're not gonna die from a picture.
I'm gonna get hives and I'm going to stop breathing
from
and
a
then
picture?
I'm gonna die. Yes.
Wow.
No, from your fucking cat-infested clothing on my side of the bed for 3 days.
3 days. Okay.
I'm so kidding.
Okay.
I'm so kidding.
I love cats so much.
I know you do. If I wasn't allergic, we would have 3.
Probably.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There's room in this house.
Oh yeah. 100%.
But I would also be dead.
Never mind. I'm sorry. I was gonna go on a tangent.
And you stopped. Why? Have you watched our show?
Taylor has like a little like outdoor area like thing that's like caged in, so they can like kind of like go out. But yeah. Anyways, that was it.
That was the tangent.
That was it. Yeah. You can get hyperallergenic cats. Unfortunately, Nerdy is allergic to like all of them. But he said if we find
haven't interacted.
one,
I've never interacted with a hyperallergenic.
well, because cat. you're allergic to the dander protein, not the like fur. And so he said if we found a cat he wasn't allergic to, we would be able to get it
after we moved to LA.
Yeah. Moving
I don't
want
to move a cat across
the country
lines.
is wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's also like food that you can get that minimalizes that like protein as well. So
chapter 24, the Gallery of Maps. Dalinar is an indoor-outdoor cat. But this is the butthole cut. You can see his butthole at all times.
Oh my god.
And so yeah, we cut. Royan says no. Adolin is like, "What's up, Daddy-O?" He's thinking about what Gavilar's last words really meant. Don't know what are the most important things a man can say, other than "I love you, son." And happy belated Father's Day to all the Daddy-Os out there.
Hell yeah! Happy Daddy Day.
And yeah, we just find out that Sadeas wants to come into the war camp, start investigating the cut girth.
Yeah.
And he's like, Sadeas is going to create some false evidence. And then Dalinar is like, I trust him. I have to trust him because when I was 4,500 years in the past, God told me to trust him. And then Adolin is like, you're fucking delusional, you dumb old fuck. Yeah. And then he turns around and he's like, oh fuck, I'm in the wrong place to be yelling at my father like this. And now
they fight about it.
They're
a
in a bad
bit.
place.
It's not cute.
Yeah, it's not cute.
It's not cute.
Adolin handles this so poorly.
Yeah, but he does apologize. He's like, look, I'm not sorry for what I said, but I should have brought it up in a different way in a different place, and that was unfair.
I am not saying that Adolin is wrong. He is wrong. Like, we know that he's wrong because it's a fantasy book, but like,
unless
from
it's
Adolin's,
just crazy visions.
If it turns out that Dalinar is fighting 4,500 years in the past in a hallucination that means nothing, I will not keep reading this series. Yeah. If that turns out to be a red herring that is just wasting time until we get to the plot of the book. No,
that would suck.
I would be furious.
That would be the biggest fucking rickroll.
It would be a rug pull, and it wouldn't feel good.
No.
Like, Dalinar's visions have to be something. Yeah. Or else, why the fuck am I reading this?
Yeah, 100%. No, I'm with you.
You know what I mean? Like, that would suck.
Yeah.
Oh no, Dalinar's actually just crazy. It means nothing. I'd be like,
it was all in your mind. There are TV shows like that. It's like, oh no, actually none of this happened. This person is just having a mental breakdown.
It's called Lost. And do you remember how angry the world got?
I
thought we were going to burn down cities when that episode of TV came out.
I actually never finished Lost. I got bored with it in like...
That's fair.
Season 4 or 5 when Anna from Expanse shows up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that's like season 5.
Yeah.
But I just got so fucking bored. I was like,
Yeah. And look, I don't hate the end of Lost. I think the end is fine. I actually think it's the middle of Lost that is where it's not very good.
Yeah.
Lost just happens to have one of the greatest beginnings to a television show ever.
Totally fair.
And yeah. Deadsy, thank you for that super chat. Everything that happened on the island on Lost actually happened in Purgatory. Yeah. Oh, shit, I just spoiled Lost. Sorry.
I mean, it's been out for a while. Yeah, it happened in...
I know, but someone's gonna be like, you spoiled Lost. I was about to sit down and watch 5 seasons of Lost.
Don't do it. Honestly, like, well, no, it's gotta be more than 5 seasons, right?
No, if I got exactly 5. Isn't it?
Okay, then I
Lost is 5 seasons.
Stopped in like 3 or 4, I think. Because I don't think I got close to the end.
Hoyd revealed to be Rick Astley.
Honestly, here's the thing. If you don't know how Lost ends, you just were not on the internet.
6 seasons. Okay, I was wrong.
When it was like around, because I knew people were upset about Lost, but like before I even started watching it.
Yeah. Fair. I watched Lost every week and
got lost. Lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind. Okay. Adolin yells. Chapter 25. Yeah. The Butcher. I thought
Billy.
This was going to be a more violent chapter than it ended up being.
Same.
And it kind of was not really much. Basically, the new Lord shows up, and it's a guy named the Butcher, and he sucks. His name's Bright Lord Rashon.
Wait, he's the Butcher?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that somehow.
Wait, am I missing this? Wasn't the nickname of this guy the Butcher?
I don't...
Did I make up the book this week? Like, is this another 2 on his black situation where I just can't fucking read?
Maybe you just assumed that because the chapter was titled The Butcher, that it meant the guy who shows up. Because I don't read the chapter titles, so I missed the Butcher part of it.
Oh.
I don't know what the Butcher is in this scenario.
They're playing cards, and they're like, I think we got the Butcher, right? I thought the Bright Lord was the reference to the card game.
Oh, not that his name is the Butcher.
And that his dad is like, I think we got the Butcher. And he's pointing at the guy. And that this guy's gonna be the Butcher.
I only remember the tower.
Am I fucking losing my mind today? Guys.
No, it looks like you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The parents called the situation the Butcher. Yeah, they're saying like he's gonna be the Butcher.
Sorry, when you said he was the Butcher, I thought you meant like that was his like superhero name.
It's the Diablo 2 boss. No. I don't mean like I don't mean his name. I mean like the nickname they're giving the situation because of.
Gotcha. Okay.
That his parents are like
I get you
referencing the card game.
Yep.
And they're like, did we get the tower or the
tower or the something? And I forget what the other thing was.
It was the tower or the something, and he's like, no, I think we actually got the Butcher.
Which
and he's
means it really depends on how all the hands are played.
Yeah. Ernest, I'll take that super chat. The Butcher is like a straight in cards. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that I said it wrong the first time.
I got confused because I was like, that's his name, but
it's his nickname in this like chapter.
Yeah.
And I understand how that's the wrong way to say what I was trying to say.
No, I hear you.
But they're saying like that dude is the situation. I guess it's more not the nickname. The situation is the Butcher.
Yeah.
But they're referencing him as being the Butcher because he's a fucking prick.
Yeah. Because clearly like something goes south in Cal's past, right? So several things go south, but I think that this guy showing up, he doesn't want to be here. He blames Cal's dad for like letting the previous guy die, which is wild. So that's
fair.
Fun. Fair?
Yeah.
No.
That's what the whole chapter's about.
It's not fair.
Maybe it's not true, but it's fair for other people to view it that way, right?
I think the fair thing to do is to give people that you've never met the benefit of the doubt. They're like a doctor and they lost a patient, but that's just me.
Sure, but that's the way that we view medicine now, right? Like the chapter's about how culturally they would rather put their fate in God because then they can blame God who doesn't exist.
Yeah, culturally they are not ready for medicine.
But they're not like they blame a surgeon because you have to put blame in somebody. We still do this, right? Like this is people blame their doctors all the time, and sometimes they're right to, right? Like that whole Dr. Death thing was so fucking crazy. That podcast hurt to listen to. I couldn't watch the TV show. The podcast was too much. And honestly, like that TV show for me, like there's so much like real world pain behind what that doctor did that I don't know that I could have gotten through it. But I understand the mentality. Like you've got to blame somebody, and it's the person whose hands were in the body last, right?
I just like.
I think it's fair, and I understand why people do it. I don't think it's right, but I do understand the feeling of like, well, you didn't save them. It's your fault that they're dead.
Yeah.
Especially from this lord who's like coming here weeks later and doesn't know what happened.
Yeah. MV fan, welcome back to the nerd table. When I first read this book, I didn't realize the Parshendi weren't human, so I feel you, nerdy.
Fair.
Yeah. They're clearly some, like, I don't know, crab hybrids? Is that what the crab emojis are? That the Parshendi are part crab, which is why they can, like, grow armor? Do crabs grow their shells? Yeah, they're not, like, it's like... Wait, no. What are
Clarus is gonna figure out about crabs now. Where are we going with this?
What are the creatures that, like, find a new shell?
Hermit crabs.
Okay. Which is a kind of crab, but other crabs do grow shells. There's just different
hermit
kinds
crabs
of
also
crabs.
Can grow shells.
They can grow.
Part of their shell is grown.
But what, they're too fucking lazy and they just find one that's already been used?
Well, no, but like on their like claws and stuff, like technically that's shell, but they grow that part of it, but the larger shell that they get inside of, they find.
How did that happen? How did this crab evolved to fit specifically into this shell.
No. They find shells that they fit into.
They're so... Okay, doesn't matter.
They will, like, try them out. There's videos online of hermit crabs, like, going and, like, trying out new shells. It's really cute. I actually think it's adorable. I watch that on TikTok sometimes.
Is that, like, window shopping?
There's a person that, like, goes out and, like, films themselves, like, helping hermit crabs that have found themselves in things that aren't shells, and putting them in, like, cute shells.
Okay.
Because, like, you'll see, like, hermit crabs will be, like, in, like, a ripped soda can or something. And it's, like, not good for them. And so this person will, like, try and get them to go into an actual shell and then get the trash out of the ocean. And those videos, chef's kiss. When I'm stoned at, like, 2 o'clock in the morning, I could watch a billion of them.
So you could just, like, decorate shells to leave on the beach, and then eventually all the crabs would be walking around in your, like, fancy pants.
Yeah, you could.
Shells.
As long as it's not harmful for them.
You just put little hats on them.
Yeah, and so, the new Sith Lord sucks. Chapter 26, Stillness. Dalinar is being read to. Little bedtime story. Mm-hmm. By Lidima. And Renarin's there. And, yeah, he's usually comforted by this one passage, but it's not working this time because Adolin fucking yelled at him. And...
The audiobook isn't doing it for me today.
What?
The audiobook?
Oh, Lidima's a person.
So is Michael Kramer.
Yeah, but he read it like fucking 10 years ago, and he's still making money off of it. Good for Michael Kramer. Jake Rowland, thank you for 10 gifted memberships.
Oh my gosh.
What a gift.
Thank you. What a gift to us, but what a gift to 10 people who can now go and watch the chat.
Wisecrackin' Mama just became a sponsor.
Hell yeah.
What's up, Wisecrackin' Mama? We met you recently.
Hippopotamuses.
Where did we meet Wisecrackin' Mama?
Did we?
Oh, at the Candela Obscura. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
oh my gosh. Hell yeah.
Thank you so much, Jake.
Subs.
He is... basically, there's a horn blare, and it's time to go. And Gallivant. And his name is Gallivant. Dalinar is like, all right, it's time. We're doing this one. I gotta get back on the fucking horse.
Yeah.
And so he tells Taleb, get my people together. Mm-hmm. They put it all together, and then Sadeas is like, now's a good time for me to do my investigation of your soldiers.
Yeah, we're gonna come with you.
This is what I imagine Sadeas sounds like.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
He just goes around and he's like, good morning, Dalinar. Where are the Smurfs?
So it's Wyhan from Dragonlance?
No, Wyhan was kinder than that. I think it's more,
I'm just teasing.
What's the villain's name from Smurfs?
Never seen
it. Oh my god. What the fuck is that guy's name? Played by my hero, Hank Azaria, in the live-action movies.
Oh, I thought you were...
Gargamel! Oh. Gargamel!
Okay.
Thank you, chat. That was gonna fucking kill me.
Happy for you. Glad we got there.
The only reason that I watched those Smurf movies was because Hank Azaria was in them. And honestly, he was great as Gargamel. The first movie was actually fine. The second movie was very not. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Neil Patrick Harris. I love you.
Damn.
Greg Amell. It's the third Amell brother.
Yeah.
You have Stephen Amell. You've got what's his brother's name? And then Greg Amell.
Wow. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Yeah, that's the one.
Barry the platypus. No, Dr. Doofenshmirtz is more up here.
That's fair.
A platypus? Barry the platypus!
That's pretty good.
That's a tough voice. And he sings in that voice on that show?
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I
don't know how he does... Like, a 2-hour recording session in that voice would kill me.
Yeah. Your voice box would just fall out.
Okay, so they get everyone together, they ride out, they're gonna go do a chasm fight.
Yeah. Dalinar is like, do you feel the thrill? And I was like, why is this a thing that we don't... Oh, right, men don't have emotions.
No, it's because it's not that. It's that it is, I think it's more human than that. I think it is the realization that we all share that there is something fun about fighting, but that there is something dishonorable about enjoying harming other people, right? And because I've experienced that, right? I've been in fights where mid-fight, I'm like, fuck, I'm having a blast, right? The adrenaline,
Can't relate.
but it's not because I like it. It's because I think that your brain adrenaline's up in a way that gets you through it, because it's like a defense mechanism, I think, honestly, is that your brain is like, you have to be able to enjoy this moment, or else you will die if you hesitate at all.
Like Dalinar does.
And there's something about the moment where you, where the fight ends and that adrenaline stops because you're safe, and you look at the guy's face on the ground next to you that you've beaten to a pulp, and you get sick to your stomach.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I have, right?
I know.
And I know what that feeling is. I know what that feeling of that moment of like, I just want to fucking fight. Oh, what did I do to that person? Did they really deserve it? And in that moment, the hesitation is like, was this justified? And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I still wish I didn't have to, but, you know, they started it. Like, what am I going to do? Let them beat the shit out of me? But there's a hard line between the adrenaline of fighting and the aftermath. And unfortunately, in this one, Dalinar hits that hard line in the middle.
Yeah.
Nearly dies for it. They ride out. They get their shit over there. Sadeas is like pulling soldiers out as they're going to talk to them. It's really nice of Sadeas to not hold them up and do it kind of as they're moving. And they get there, and so their bridges are sort of a like they're up, and then they get like cranked down into place across, which is an interesting different design. And then like the back end gets taken off, taken over the bridge, hooked up, pulled up, and then I guess turned, and then pulled, and then dropped, and then turned. It is much more complicated than what Sadeas is doing, and so I kind of see how I get Sadeas's thing being faster.
Oh yeah, it being faster.
Yeah, I get it. It sucks because of the harm involved in the usage of it.
Yeah.
But like, fuck, when you really like, when you need to be mobile in a war zone, the advantage Sadeas has is huge. I still think attacking into with a Parshendi is an insane strategy, given the superiority of their range attacks. But yeah, it's wild. Anyway,
it's one of those things where like Sadeas has the idea of speed, but also if he hired men to have fucking tower shields and run in front of the bridgemen, like it would actually be more efficient because you wouldn't have bridges go down. Like,
yeah, but then the problem is that they shoot over the bridges into the soldiers while the bridges are getting put into place, and he loses more valuable soldiers, right?
Yeah, I guess it depends on the range of the
Well, no, but
bows.
that's literally Sadeas' argument that he brought up earlier in the book.
Well,
that's the reason he said he took the shields away from the bridges earlier in the book.
I just feel like if you since you keep the soldiers just out of the bow's range until the soldiers are able to get across the bridge, because the Parshendi are shooting at the soldiers then anyways.
But I think that because of the way the plateaus are laid out, I don't know that that's always an option, right?
Depending on how big the thing is, maybe yeah.
Yeah, I think it's about the value of bridge people to Sadeas.
Yeah.
The thing is, you can't stone cast people, and so at some point you're going to run into a supply issue of humans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if you lose a lot of fights, which it seems like they are kind of 50-50 almost in a way.
Well, but because the Alethi are such a like warring people, that's why I think that their society, their weird societal things are structured the way they are to force people to have babies, to pair men and women up together to reproduce, because they fight a lot. And they don't really care. They're like, oh, soldiers that's the highest calling you can have. So they try and have a bunch of babies and recruit everybody with this idea that it's the best that they're ever going to be able to do in their lives.
Yeah, so Dalinar's strategy is a little bit different. He and Adolin leap the chasm and begin to 1v1 or 2v all an army.
2v...
And
infinite.
This plays out in a very dangerous way for them because they're kind of surrounded the whole time, but this allows the bridges to get locked into place without the concerns that plague Sadeas's army.
Yeah.
And so they're fighting and killing, and he's got that thrill racing through him. He's feeling good. He's all pumped up on adrenaline, and then he looks at a dead Parshendi on the ground, and he just stops. And thank God Adolin is paying attention, because this could have been the end of old Dalinar Colin.
The Blackthorn.
Yeah. He loses the thrill.
I was about to call him the Brightness, which is kind of also true, but...
No, the brightness is women.
Bright Lord. The Bright Lord.
Yeah, there you got it. This I imagine that this fighting is less like combat and more like Dynasty Warriors. You know what I mean?
Don't know what that is.
The Dynasty Warriors games, where it's like one person and you just take out waves and waves and waves of enemies. You've never seen one of those? Oh,
I just thought that was a video game.
That's what I'm referencing.
I mean, like all video games, like that have like combat in it. It's like
no, but Dynasty
you versus a bunch of people.
Dynasty Warriors is like specifically like
Ernest Hill, thank you for that super chat. Sadeas operates under the calculus of war. Yeah, he's a fucking asshole.
Dynasty Warriors is specifically like
Just go to an image.
Is specific. Oh, this is like this. Like literally just like swinging through thousands of men.
Oh, okay.
And so this is what I imagine the shard plate allows you to do.
Honestly,
is just sort of like run through like groups of people like this.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I see it.
Yeah. So I feel like if they were going to make a Stormlight video game, it would just be a Dynasty Warriors game. And we get this really dope fight. I think it's really cool. They do ultimately... Dalinar is able to shake himself back into fighting because he doesn't want to die. But he doesn't want to kill needlessly anymore.
Yeah.
And they get the bridges down. The army pulls through. And Adolin gets to
cut out that gem heart. Good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah.
What we do see, though, in the distance, a Parshendian shard plate.
Yeah. He's like, why didn't they enter the fight? Where was this guy? Why did they... This whole thing has to be a fucking ruse.
No, I think that the Parshendi are trying to... are doing some information gathering.
Information gathering?
Yeah, I think there's a big attack coming.
Oh, they're like testing?
Yeah. I think this guy in the shard plate is going to end up being like a commander or something who is testing different plateaus to see which armies show up and which armies have shards. Because I think that what this is going to end up being is that this Parshendi guy is trying to steal those shards. So I think that like he's going to try and draw out specific shard users.
Right.
And seeing that Dalinar leaps the chasm like that, I think that this is the information stage of a trap that's coming up that's going to have a big impact on our main characters.
Interesting.
I think some bad shit's about to happen.
I was worried, like, and I don't know what it looks like on the map, but I was worried that like they were testing they were kind of testing the efficiency of the response times, and if they could like have an army like circle around to get to the other side of the Shattered Plains, like where like the camps are, while the army is like away from camp. But I don't know geographically if that is like possible.
Yeah,
so I feel like
that's
they
interesting.
would have done that by now, but I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it definitely does seem to be like I don't know. It's very suspicious, and it's not going to be good. I know that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so they write back. Chapter 27, Chasm Duty.
Oh, we reacted to this one.
We did.
Yes.
Kaladin and his boys are sent down into the chasms to go pick up all the armor that gets washed against the walls when the high storms come through.
Yeah, so when people fight on the Shattered Plains,
a lot of them fall.
Yeah, because it's, it's harder to outmaneuver your opponent than it is to fucking kick them down a hole.
The high storms also probably just push shit into the chasm.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I would wonder how much of the metal is actually usable, or if it's just it becomes metal to be reforged, right?
Well, or like
because I imagine a lot of those helmets and whatever. Yeah, Stormcast.
You might like be able to like repair them that way because they're probably depending on how long they've been out, but if they can't collect stuff in time and it's weathered by the high storms, or it's dented up from the falls or the fighting or whatever it is,
it's got to be reforged in some way.
Yeah, but the having the material to do that is obviously still more valuable than having to then source the base material for it.
So the main conversation in the audiobook reaction that we did for this ended up being that I said that of the jobs the bridgemen do, this is the one I would want to do the most. And just to bring this to book club and not have it be audiobook chapter reactions only, yeah, I fucking stand by that, okay? I want to go down into the chasms and go on a little adventure. And I feel like people are like, no, come on. You would rather lift rocks all day. And like, no, I wouldn't. Also, going down into the chasm, there's a chance that I die. And like honorable death where like a chasm creeper kills me. And that would be cool. It's a better way to die than fucking like dysentery, which you're probably going to get up in the camp. So like, I don't know. I want to go on a little adventure, and I feel justified in my feelings.
The adventure part of it, I understand completely. It's the dead bodies rotting and smelling around you that would make me want to fucking throw up.
Okay, but like, everything smells. You think that bridge room that they sleep in smells good? No, their life smells like shit and sweat. And so, yeah, you got to deal with some shit, but it's the only time where they're free to like walk around and they don't have the fucking light eyes looking down on them. I think there's a little bit of freedom down there. Also, some of that scent might be blown away by the high storms. It might not be that bad.
Yeah, sure. If it wasn't like smelly or anything, I 100% agree. But they talk about like how fucking horrific it is with these like bloated corpses and like rotting limbs and like
everything.
They have to like pick like the pieces of armor off of bodies. Like the armor and the bodies are not separate.
Oh, 100%.
They have to like literally like take it from them, which, yeah.
Judith Kennis, I was thinking about that super chat. Just bring a gun and a mask to chasm duty. Easy peasy.
Yeah, there you go.
Here's my thing. Everything about their life sucks. Yeah. I'm not saying that I want to do this. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that of the things that they do, this would be the one that would feel the most like...
Yeah. And Marie says then you get a full cavity search on the way back up. That might be a bonus.
No.
That might be a bonus.
That is the worst part of it. That is definitely the worst part about it.
I don't know.
For sure.
Maybe you like butt stuff.
I don't know. I feel like after weeks of being on bridge duty and like being watched all the time and having these crazy expectations, I would take the...
Treasure hunt?
No, the freedom of just being alone.
Well...
I would be like, guys, I'm going to go down here for 20 minutes. I will be back. I just want to be fully alone for 1 second. And it would be the only time that you get that.
But you don't get to be alone. It's the whole crew together.
Right. But they're walking off on their own all the time.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Literally, there's the point where they're like going through the corpses and Teft and Rock left and went off and did their own thing. Like, just, I really do think I would take the... I totally get the argument that it sucks and it smells. I understand that. What I'm saying is that of the things that they do, this feels like the one where for 10 minutes in this awful life, you could find a spot by yourself in a chasm where you're just fully alone and be able to have a moment of freedom where you can decompress in a way that the rest of your life never allows for.
Yeah.
And
I get that.
I think that I would cherish those moments. You know what is actually an interesting comp for this? I remember when my first tour, when I was doing Elf the Musical, I had to share a room for that tour. And my roommate was great. Shane is a very talented actor, very sweet guy. Not a single problem with him at all. But between the bus, the hotel, and the show, it got to a point about a month in where I would start walking sometimes in the middle of the night. I would just leave and I would go find an empty park and I would sit by myself in the dark.
Yeah.
Because... Elf is a very high energy show, and it was a very high energy cast. We were all young and having fun and living our lives. And there were some times where I was like, I need to just not be near anybody.
You just need a minute.
And this feels like the only time that I would be able to do that.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake Rowland is summing up my feelings. If everything is going to suck anyway, may at least have a little bit of personal freedom while it sucks. And it seems like down there is the only place where you do.
Yeah. That's fair. I get that. Yeah, this chapter is really fun. We reacted to it because it's like we were so worried that like there was going to be an attack, like it was going to be bad.
I was excited.
Well, worried for like...
I couldn't wait for it. I was like, Kaladin is going to fight a Chasm Fiend, and he's going to come back with a gem heart, and something's going to happen.
No, I was worried. I was like, what if Rock dies? You know what I mean? It's a Chasm Fiend.
You have too much air.
14 legs.
If you thought that was going to happen, you have too much air. We got to get back to Calgary. We got to get to a higher altitude, babe. You're starting to become a lowlander.
I'm the one that can survive when we go to Colorado, and you're the one that's like, I can't do stairs.
Hey, I was so much better this year.
You were.
Last year I was not in good shape.
Yeah, no, you were like ill.
And next year I'm gonna be fit. I'm gonna be good. I have asthma. My lungs literally suck.
Yeah, sounds like a you problem.
It is. I have a condition that I was born with.
Well, I don't have a condition, so.
Good for you. You know what? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you want to talk about hamstrings real quick?
Nobody else is gonna get that. Besides, it's one hamstring and one adductor, so get it right.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Yeah, a skill issue.
Yeah, guys, my body sucks.
Same. It's all good.
Give me some milk. See how well I hold up. I know my constitution is low, okay?
It's really easy to poison Nerdy. Just like give him some ice cream.
Constitution is my dump stat.
Yeah.
But like, I'm pretty strong. I can bench press you.
It's true. Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. Oh my god.
The last minute would be a good short. Can someone give me a timestamp on that? It's 2 hours 10 minutes.
Timestamped in the Discord. Yeah.
2 hours 10 minutes. Someone write that down.
Oh my god. Isn't that a diaphragm? No.
No, my diaphragm. I have a very impressive diaphragm.
Very powerful diaphragm. That's why you can hear him.
Yeah.
Always.
I have a very trained diaphragm.
Yeah.
A lot of control over that. If you sing for 30 years.
That'll do it.
Yeah. Go study opera. Your diaphragm will improve greatly. My diaphragm is better than my lungs.
Yes.
And not even my lungs. It's actually my bronchioles that are the problem. But
we're getting specific here.
Yeah.
Right. For me, it's just me. I'm just the problem.
The other thing, the diaphragm is a part that sucks. That's not really true. It's complicated. Nothing really sucks. You don't actually suck. You create space.
Oh.
You create a vacuum, basically.
Oh,
breathing is very complicated.
I don't get it. God damn it.
Can you stop hiccups? Not based on that audiobook reaction we did last week.
What do you mean? They stopped like right away.
They stopped on their own, but not because I was like intentionally stopping them.
No.
I don't know why they stopped. They just did.
Because you were like, I have to react now.
Well, we literally didn't have time.
Yeah.
People thought it was very funny, so.
Syl is hanging out with the crew because she's always there. And they're kind of getting to know one another. They're telling some stories. They're chilling. We find out about Rock and more about like the Horn Eaters, that he's a cook and everything.
Loafster, thank you for dropping your Prime subscription at the Nerdy Nightly.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're the best.
Take that Daddy Bezos allowance. And Kaladin is trying to get the people to participate, right?
Yes.
Trying to see this as a positive, as a camaraderie thing, and it's working a little bit with certain people, but it is not as effective as he wants it to be. And so Kaladin decides to fucking show off, and picks up a spear and just starts swinging it around. Just starts swinging his spear around, and people are like, "Damn, that's a spear." What?
The hand motion was so penile.
Yeah. He started swinging his spear around.
Started swanging that spear.
Started swanging that thing. And everyone's like, holy fucking shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's very impressive. Very, very impressive. And people are like, I don't know, you're just so graceful, man. Don't know what to say about it.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting here is that we find Parshendi bodies.
Yes.
And we learn that the Parshendi grow their armor.
Yeah, this is where we find out that it's like...
Carapace.
And it was a joke. I know he didn't do it on purpose. Just being a goof. But yeah, because Kaladin is like, take their armor off. And Rock is like, okay, yeah, you try. Sweet and Savory, thank you for also using your Prime Gaming sub.
This is a great moment to remind you all, if you use Prime on Amazon, you get a free subscription on Twitch. And if you give it to us, we
free money.
Get money, and you don't have to give it to us.
Free money.
Ixion, thank you so much for the super chat. I love your reactions so much, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Don't worry, we're gonna keep reacting for one more day and then never again. Tomorrow is the final reaction.
We're gonna stop in the middle of all the shows that we're watching.
Yeah. We
right
saw
now.
one episode of House of the Dragon season 2 and we are
Right.
now done.
That's it. We're done. We're done here.
Oh, we're almost at a hype train. Oh my god.
Hey.
Thank you for following Code Monkey 76. Look at all these people.
And getting wiggly with it as
Getting
well.
jiggy with it.
Yeah.
You might be the whitest person in the world
I confused the
to look at getting
W.
jiggy with it and think that it says getting wiggly with it.
The W, it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Code Monkey 76, thank you for starting a hype train with your Prime Gaming.
Don't worry about me. Yeah, Code Monkey, thank you.
Wow,
Thank you
I knew you were white, but holy shit.
Thank you for that hype train over on Twitch. We appreciate you. Dyslexia is catching. This is proof. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm getting wiggly with it. That is the white version of getting jiggly with it, though.
Yeah.
Getting jiggy with it.
Yeah.
You know what? You might have discovered...
I did it.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Whatever the
Done the world a
opposite of
service.
cultural appropriation is, you just did it.
Isn't that just colonization?
No, I'm saying you did the opposite.
Oh.
You embracing getting jiggy with it might be cultural appropriation, but you saying getting wiggly with it is the opposite of that.
It's the G-rated version.
It's the W-rated version. The
Right.
W stands for white.
White. That's me. White.
Guys,
Very white.
we're out here getting wiggly with it.
Yeah, no, I fucked that up.
Guillermo Barros, thank you for that super chat. Are we getting a nerdy NBA reaction show or what? NBA reaction show? The season just ended. How would
Just
I
gonna watch the highlights and react to them?
react to... What would I react to? There's not going to be a game for like 5 months.
Yeah, we're gearing up for next season.
Does NBA stand for something else? How would I react to this? I don't think there's going to be a new game until...
Couldn't tell you. No idea. Sports.
September?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
Guillermo, they won like 4 days ago.
Thank you for that super chat. Who won?
Boston did. Everyone's mad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck, I guess. Get good.
Yeah, Boston won their 18th championship. They're now the leaders all time.
People are mad that there's good players.
Yeah, everyone hates Boston. It's just like a thing. People don't like Boston. Boston...
Good thing we're going to Boston next month.
Yeah, we are. I'm excited to be there. I like Boston as a city, but Boston just their teams win a lot. The New England Patriots won for years with Tom Brady. And...
Wait, what?
What?
Doesn't matter.
You thought what? Nope. Throw it out there. Come on. You thought what?
I assumed New England was a place.
Okay, where do you think New England is?
Fucking no. But Boston is clearly not it. There have to be different places.
Why?
Well, because otherwise Boston would be called New England.
God damn it.
I don't know.
Your ability to be so confident about stuff that you just
I tried to stop myself.
don't know.
Tried to stop myself.
It's it's not even that you're like so far off. It's that I understand what you're thinking. It's just so funny to me that you're like, wait, no, they have to be different places.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, they would be called the Boston Patriots. Sam, thank you for that super chat. Which is your favorite show this year so far? House of the Dragon, Boys, Shogun, Fallout, or The Acolyte?
Right now, it's Shogun.
That's so tough.
It's not hard for me. I think Shogun is like one of my favorite TV shows in years.
I just mean it's tough because House of the Dragon and the Boys aren't done yet.
Sure, they could overtake it, but right this second, it's
no.
Shogun by a mile.
Shogun is immaculate.
Yeah.
But I would actually rewatch Fallout before I would rewatch Shogun because Shogun's just like fucking heavy. You know what I mean?
Oh, I would rewatch Shogun in a heartbeat. That was one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Shogun is my favorite TV show right
There you
now of maybe the last 3 years.
There you go.
Yeah.
So they did used to be called the Boston Patriots. So how...
So New England is a group of states in the northeastern United States where
Like
early...
the territories?
No. It's like Rhode Island, Maine, Vermont,
They
Massachusetts.
like have like a golf club.
Kind of, yeah. Not a golf club, but like those states are considered New England. It's just like an area of the United States.
Is it because like they're...
the Midwest is the Midwest states? New England is like a name for that group of states. Basically everything
similar
north
to
of
like England, like
it's where we first landed. It's where America kind of started.
Wait, they first landed in the middle of the country?
What?
You just said it's like in the middle.
The Northeast.
Oh, okay. I just was like, Boston's not on the water.
It is very much on the water.
Okay, that's good. That's
Boston
good.
Harbor, where they dumped the tea at the Boston Tea Party off the giant ships pulling in from England.
I thought because it was close to Toronto that was on a lake. I don't know why.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Babe, what is happening right now?
I've never thought about it.
Where did you think the Boston Tea Party happened?
On the water. I didn't think about it.
You thought that England sent giant ships loaded with tea to a lake?
I found out
to one of the Great Lakes?
Okay, I found out about the Boston Tea Party because you talked about it for a D&D campaign. That is the only information I have about the Boston Tea Party.
You don't know what the Boston Tea Party is?
I did not know what it was until you mentioned it. I don't learn about fucking American history. Judah, thank you for the super chat.
Wait.
New England is the wasp hive?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
What white Anglo-Saxon Protestant?
Okay.
Yeah. It's basically like rich white people in Northeast United States. Clarence, what do you think the Boston Tea Party was? I'm so sorry we're not talking about the book, but like I need you to. What do you think the Boston Tea Party was?
You said it was they were like fuck you England and they dumped all their like goods that they shipped into the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which set off what?
Hamilton. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Thus, Hamilton the musical was born, okay? I think I'm correct. You're welcome.
Okay. So,
is the Boston Tea Party in Hamilton the musical?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, I really missed a lot in that musical.
It is mentioned in Hamilton, but we don't see the event itself.
They talk so fast. I missed so many things in that musical.
Okay, so the American colonies were frustrated about taxation without representation. Basically, that the King of England was able to raise taxes on them without them having any say in the government in England.
Okay.
And so they dumped the tea as a protest against the raising taxes.
Wouldn't they want to not call themselves New England then?
Like, babe, I don't fucking know. I'm so done with... I have no idea. At this point, I don't know. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. I'm just out here asking the
I don't know how people feel about shit. It's New York. You know what I mean?
You know what? That's true.
Wouldn't they want to call it not New York? Come up with a new name?
New Cork. They're like, fuck you and your
Cork is
English
also
name.
a place in England.
Well...
Actually, I think Cork is in Wales, right?
I don't fucking know.
Ixion, thank you for that super chat. Will the handsome bearded man on the left be playing any new game soon? Has he tried Starfield yet? I did not like Starfield. Ixion, I did play the Elden Ring DLC last night. So I'm going to be playing the DLC for Elden Ring for a while here.
He's going to start Fallout
Is Cork in Ireland? Okay, Cork is in Ireland.
See, okay, so New Cork actually makes sense. So you're going to be playing Fallout 2 when we get back from Anime Expo as well.
Yeah.
So Fallout 2 is coming.
All right, let's move on to the book because this was insane. I can't believe you didn't know what the Boston Tea Party was.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about this campaign and I was like, oh cool, that sounds fun.
It's like the beginning of the American Revolution.
Yeah, which I know so much about.
Oh my god.
So much. I'm pretty sure,
my
actually, that
God.
my ancestors fought for the British in that. No, I'm, like, actually not joking. My aunt was like, yeah, we had one of our people was a general or some shit. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm white.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, so, they get back to the barracks after Chasm duty, and Rock cooks a delicious stew for everybody. And, because everyone eats a good hearty meal of stew, the next morning, some of the members of the crew actually join Kaladin for the workout.
Yeah, most of them just watch, though. They're like, fuck that guy. But the stew was good.
Chapter 28. Decision. So they've got cell phones in this world that aren't really cell phones. They're kind of like those like drawing pads that writers have. Or that artists, the like 3D drawing pads artists use to make digital art. And the way that it works is that you connect them via Wi-Fi, and it mimics like your hand movements.
Yeah.
The Wi-Fi Etch-a-Sketch is a great way to put it, Mr. Kite.
Yes, exactly that.
This is the least effective way of communicating, especially because if two men need to talk, they also need two women to do the writing.
Yeah.
This is insane. It's very cool. It's such a like interesting concept that almost feels like it is more effort than it is worth.
Well,
almost. Not really, but almost.
Not really. I mean, as long as you have a servant to line up all the shit, you're the rich person, you don't really do any of the work at all.
Oh shit, ours is deleting shit. I don't know what the fuck just happened.
Oh. Oopsie.
Yeah.
That might be from future stuff.
I don't know.
It's fine.
The description of this was both so exciting, and we did react to this. You can watch us react to it in real time. So exciting and like cool and interesting, and also like I was like, I don't want to send my fucking handwriting across. My handwriting's terrible.
Well, that's why in these times you would practice your handwriting so that it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't as a man.
Oh, because I wouldn't be able to read.
You wouldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't. You couldn't.
That'd be great. Honestly, I take it back. I don't want to know how to read.
I hate writing because I freaking just like makes my hand cramp.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is part of the reason that it's like an art to actually be able to write shit. And the glyphs that they have and the whatever fucking letters and shit they have sound like they are so confusing. Like they feel like they're fucking like overlapping and shit. And I'm like, eventually you run out of like I don't know. It feels bonkers to me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But anyway, so Yasna is
chatting with Dalinar.
Has sent a call, and so Dalinar gets home. Adolin is like, "Hey, I'm wooing this woman. I met her yesterday.
Yeah.
I want her to work here."
Yeah.
Which just honestly
too soon,
too
buddy.
soon,
Too
brother.
soon. She might be a spy. Like
Getting her a job in your fucking dad's house on date 2 is just a weird move.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Feels a little controlling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess it could be because it's like, well, I'm gonna get you a job, and that way you're kind of like stuck.
Yeah.
Weird move.
I feel like either Adolin is taking advantage of this girl, or this girl is tricking Adolin, and it's one of the two.
Or Adolin just is not aware enough to understand.
Nah,
that would mean.
I honestly think the more likely thing is this girl is taking advantage of him.
Yeah.
Weird power dynamics, Ivy. Weird power dynamics. Yeah. And so Dalinar's like, fine, I will let you, this person I have just met, be the communication I have with my secret sister.
Well,
didn't really get that as much for me. I was like, what is happening? You don't have any other... What happened to the fucking scribe that read you on the mountain?
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit weird. I was like, I wouldn't trust a person that I just met in times of war when you don't trust any of the other high princes, and one of them thinks that maybe you tried to kill the king. Is
and
weird.
in the mountaintop scene, not the mountaintop scene, the mountain path scene, it was set up that he has scribes that he does trust.
Barely.
And that he barely trusts those ones.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just surprising that he let this woman in on this meeting with his daughter, who is off doing secret...
His not daughter, his
niece, sorry. Who's doing secret... Navani's daughter.
Yes.
So
Who's
anyway.
like very prominent, like she is literally like the king's sister.
Yeah.
Like it could be a very important, sensitive thing.
And you just met this random woman.
Yeah, it was a bit strange. But before we get...
Judah, it says, Adolin is a precious himbo. He doesn't know things. Thank you for that super chat.
That's kind of what it felt a little bit like. Yeah, before we get to the writing scene, we get the moment where Navani comes to Dalinar breaking the rocks, and like digging out the latrine.
Oh, was that first?
Yeah, because they go on the inspections.
I flipped it in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Dalinar's trying to decide whether or not to abdicate in favor of his son. And so he's letting Adolin lead in a bunch of moments.
Inspections. He's letting his son kind of take charge on like the routine of the day of being the leader of the camp.
Yeah. Which was interesting to see. Like, we were like, oh, obviously, like, we understand what's happening. And I think maybe Adolin has suspicions, but he decides to... He's walking by these people doing this manual labor, and it's like... Shard blades, whatever like these tools are, why didn't the people in the past make stuff to like help with everyday life? Why was it saved for, the fucking elite and the wealthy and the blah blah blah?
Because the Voidbringers were bringing the apocalypse.
Probably.
Like I feel like I wish that I could have been there to like lay it out for him. The Voidbringers were bringing an apocalypse.
He definitely saw the Midnight Essence things like slaughter.
They didn't make Shardplate to kill humans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But he was like, oh, well, if the ancients were so smart and advanced or whatever, they should have been working on stuff for the common people. Because, this takes so much time. And so he gets his big old hammer. He starts digging out a latrine so that he can, like, think things through. He's trying to make this big decision. And Navani shows up. She's like, you're a fucking weirdo.
Well, he's like, bring me my hammer, and he starts digging a latrine.
Yeah.
Just smashing that rock, lifting that rock, getting all hot and sweaty.
Yeah.
And then Navani shows up when he's at, like, peak man, when he's got that musk. And she's like, yeah, I was married to your brother, but I'm gonna fuck you, boy.
Yeah, she's fucking horny as shit.
She wants him.
Yeah, so bad.
He's like, this isn't gonna work. And she's like, give me a fucking reason why it's not gonna work. And he's like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
You're my sister.
Yeah.
What are you doing, stepsis?
Oh, God.
If she got caught in a laundry machine, you're telling me you wouldn't...
That's it. That's the end. That is the finale of the book, actually.
Is Navani in a laundry machine?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he carves the whole latrine, and he was like, by the time he was like, I knew that by the time I finished the latrine, I was going to have the answer, but this hot lady's here, and now I'm confused by her hotness.
She interrupted me. Oh, and also, I have a message. Not a message. I have a request for a Skype session, basically. Yes. So he's got to go accept the call. God. Just like MSN chat.
Oh my god, do you remember MSN chat?
I do.
I committed so many crimes on MSN chat.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of fraud. Lied about my age a lot. I was many different people.
ASL.
Oh god, ASL, I never told the truth once. Because I was 12.
No, yeah.
And I needed to fight about Star Wars. And I couldn't fight in the chat rooms if I was an adult.
Oh my god. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, do you remember when sexting was called cybering?
Yeah.
Do you want a cyber was like a thing?
Yeah.
I used to cyber with people. I wish that I had like transcripts of my cybering, because I imagine if I read it now, it would be great content. Because it wouldn't be sexual. Like, it would be sexual only in the way that like Brandon Sanderson books are sexual, where you're like not quite sure the person understands sex.
Well, in Wordbreaker, he didn't understand sex.
Yeah, true.
He had to learn.
Yeah.
Siri had to teach the king.
James Ross says, we've had this exact conversation in an Expanse reaction. Do you think I remember everything we've talked about on this channel? There's 1,000 videos on this channel. I don't remember half the shit I've said.
I don't remember 5% of what I've said.
The hammer gets destroyed in making the latrine. I loved that bit. I love it because it is the interesting thing of, like, the shard plate is stronger than the other material. Also, Navani, we skipped over this. Navani's like, wouldn't it make more sense to use the shard blade to cut the rock up? And he's like, do you know how hard it is to grab rocks that are smooth?
Yeah.
You gotta make them chipped.
Yeah.
You gotta
get them chunky. So now we go to the phone call. Which, still is, like, weird that he's like, sure, you can scribe it, even though I just met you. It's fine.
I
But
do like that the scry thing is a feature that Apple added, I think, like 3 years ago to iPhones, where you can like draw in the like message area and send that drawing.
oh, you can send the actual drawing.
Yeah, I think like span read, the span read technology is something that you can actually do on iPhone. In iMessage.
I bet you Android did it first.
No, because
know.
Android doesn't have.
Huh?
Android doesn't have like a dedicated like messaging thing like that. It would send it as like a JPEG. You could make a JPEG and send a JPEG in Android
like
texting, but
Nintendo DS. Yes, that was the fucking original.
you could do that on Nintendo DS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It wasn't live, but yeah.
Live? What do you mean?
Like you would have to finish the thing and then hit send. Whereas this is like a live drawing.
Oh yeah. I fucking love that. So there's this interesting conversation. Yasna is like, hey, be careful of my mom. She bites. Which
this
I think
took
is
me
a
the fuck out.
Why?
In the audiobook reaction.
Wait, I don't remember.
Oh, I lost it.
Oh.
When her, it's like he looks at Navani and is like, "Oh yeah, your mom came to the camp." If you watch audiobook reaction, I fucking died.
He was like, I should have said that she was in the room. That's awkward.
I laughed so hard at that bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. Yasna is like working on my research. I definitely got to come back, but I don't know when because like this is like really fucking important. Like you don't understand how important this shit is. Also, here's a picture. What does this look like? And they're like, oh, that looks like a chasm fiend. And she's like, yeah, no, that's
my new ward, Drew.
My new ward, Drew, a void bringer. So that's interesting.
And then she's like, I'm not saying this is a void bringer. I'm just saying that like this book says that it's a void bringer.
Yeah, this person kind of just drew something that they thought maybe it was like kind of scary looking. So hopefully it's not actually a void bringer. Ha 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 ha. And I was like, oh my god, are the chasm fiends like pupating on the fucking surface? And like, are they gonna like just turn into fucking like void bringers? Like they're gonna like, I'm assuming
if they allow the chasm fiends to
bigger,
pupate, they will become Mothra. And they will take over the earth.
Well, they're
giant worm things that are going to pupate, and when the shells crack, out comes Mothra. Which is why, and this is my big brain theory, okay? Everyone, this is my big theory of the entire series. Mm-hmm. The Parshendi intentionally killed Elikarzad Gavilar.
Yeah.
To start a war that drew the Alethi to the Shattered Plains.
Yeah.
Because the Parshendi know that they have to kill the Chasm Fiends and get the Gem Hearts. Because if the Gem Hearts are allowed to pupate, they become Mothra, and then we have to fight a kaiju.
Yeah.
And
they know
so
the end of times is coming.
The Gavilar was killed by the Parshendi using the Shin Assassin in order to draw people to this Shattered Plains so that they would stop the war from happening.
Well, because also we know that the Parshendi weren't originally on the Shattered Plains, right?
Yeah. Everyone has come here to end the war. Or to prevent the war, the future war.
Yeah, to give like humanity its best chance.
Yeah.
In a way.
That is my big prediction.
Yeah, I like
that
it.
the Parshendi that's why Gavilar died, was for this war to start so that they could stop the coming void bringing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool thought. I like it.
Yeah.
This was brought up in the chapter, so just reiterating it for everyone on book club.
Oh, there's art of Shallan's drawing in the book? I haven't seen that.
Oh.
I
didn't see it on my Kindle, because I usually have the Kindle when I'm going through the book.
You say before chapter 24?
Before chapter 24.
What's that? That's chapter 22. Okay.
Scroll.
I can just jump to chapter 24.
And then go back.
Oh, shit! That's the drawing.
Looks like a Pokemon.
It does. It kind of looks like y'all, look at this. It looks like it's going to be the legendary in the next Pokemon game.
Yeah. Interesting.
I need to look at these fucking drawings more.
Yeah, there's some good shit in there. I don't know. I definitely missed that one too.
Wow, there's so many pages in this fucking book.
I know. Yeah, you can't just scroll through the whole thing. Yeah. It's too many, but yeah.
Wow, that looks really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I like your theory.
It's just I'm trying to figure out why this war is happening on the Parshendi side. Why they haven't just left. Like, why are they still on the Shattered Plains? What do they get out of it?
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that they view the Chasm Fiends as gods, but I don't know.
Well, that's why I think that the gem hearts have something to do, like the Parshenni need the gem hearts to like grow their soul cast or whatever their like bodies and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'm not sure.
And then
Half-baked theory.
At the end of the call, Dalinar is like, I'm done. I'm abdicating. And he tells Navani, and she's like, you're making a big mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he is wrong and she's right. Because I support women, and I'm a feminist.
I support women's wrongs.
Despite the beginning of this episode where we talked about it, and people are going to be like, wow, he's really sexist. I do actually support women.
No, I don't know. If that's
you know
what
it's
people,
going to be said. You know it's going to be said.
Yeah, if that's what people got out of that conversation, they're incorrect.
Interlude 4. He is risen. She is risen, but, Jesus. Risen and her Babsk Vistim, hate these fucking names.
I know.
They're in Shin, and Shin has soil. That thing that we need to live.
Yeah, and the grass doesn't retreat.
Because it's actual grass and not, this place is wild, in that it is North America. Are the Shin just like Native Americans? I don't know. I need to stop looking for comps because I don't think they exist. I think the Shin are the Shin. And this is a weird culture where warriors are low and farmers are high. And everything must only live in the extremes in this whole world.
Humanity.
But that's not how I view humanity, honestly. I think it's one of the things about fantasy is they're like, everything has to be only on the extremes of things. And I think it's what I like about Lord of the Rings, is that, like, the cultures of Lord of the Rings are have gender norms and things within them, but also, like, have variety, have a little bit more variety and aren't as harshly drawn.
I think that the world currently exists in the most, like, extremist version it has since, like, what is happening right now with, like, politics, like, everything is extremism. Everything is so far one way or the other that, like, there's no, I don't know,
Yeah. No, that's actually a good point.
Thanks.
Good point.
It's...
Yeah.
Fino says Sanderson does explain why his nations are so extremely different. I'm looking forward to some clarity on some of these things.
It kind of feels like different for different sake right now.
Well,
I think that's what I'm responding to.
Because there are so many different ones that I'm like, okay, we gotta remember this one again because it's probably going to be important.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in this book.
And so we find out that Vistim, the Babsk, was the person that brought Szeth, son of Televir, to...
The Truthless, yes.
To Alethkar. Unless there was another Truthless, but I doubt it.
No, it seems
pretty rare.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure that this is Szeth, and that he is upset that he traded him away. So I'm assuming that this is just backstory. I don't know. This felt a little bit kind of like, cool. Yeah, I guess we know how Szeth got there now.
Yeah.
It kind of, this chapter felt a little bit to me like something that I say about Star Wars, where I'm like, I don't really need to know all of the details.
Yeah.
I don't need to know, like, what Luke's every day was like in the comics. It's okay if you skip to the stuff that is, like, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that these characters are important later. I'm not, I get that. This was just, that reading this whole thing, I was like, oh, yeah, this is the guy that brought Szeth over. Cool.
Good for them, yeah.
That's something I know now.
Yeah, and the guy was like, the payment that you gave me for him, I had to throw away, because it just would have been too shitty of me to take payment for Truthless. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm curious how this comes back.
Yeah, like, what did Szeth do that makes him truthless?
I have no idea.
Did he tell a lie? Like, I don't...
Well, no, I think that he got Shard,
Did
right?
he walk on stone? Like...
I think that's something that... I think he killed for Shard. And that, like, was culturally a no-no. Because he had to kill the previous Shard bearer, right? And so I'm assuming that because warriors are, like, the lowest, being the best warrior would make him the lowest of the low. Maybe? Because he now has a shard, which makes him, like, the super soldier.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is going to be very interesting on a reread.
Yeah.
I was just kind of listening to this chapter being like, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And some of the interludes do feel that way to me, where I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fair.
There's soil here. I did like the ending though, where he's like, "You're gonna learn to care for that grass until you don't think it's weird," which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a fun idea. Then we get Axes the Collector, who I think is a Voidbringer. I think that this is truth.
I think that's insane.
I think that suddenly introducing an immortal character in the middle of this chapter feels wild to me.
He's basically just Vasher.
What?
Well, like he's obviously from a different plane, right? He's from a different world.
No,
he's
from this world.
Is he?
Yeah.
He can change his appearance at
Vasher
will.
isn't from another plane. Vasher's from that world.
Is it that planet?
No, okay, the Vasher. No. We can't start comparing this guy to Vasher. Vasher is immortal because of the magic system on. What world is that? Whatever, that world.
Fucking Christ.
I don't understand how, like, unless this guy lives on Stormlight. I don't know. This chapter threw me. This chapter, I'm not gonna lie, this chapter threw me through a fucking loop. Because also the water spren is like 100 feet tall. Nalthus, thank you.
Yeah, but the water spren is an illusion.
No, it's not. The water is the illusion. When it breaks, the waves that it creates are an illusion. But the spren is like 100 feet tall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are these spren at
so
this
we
point?
basically we meet a person who is different than any other person that we've met so far because they can change their appearance at will. They're basically immortal.
He's basically Morph. From the X-Men.
He has decided to make it his life's research to research every single Spren, which he thinks he'll accomplish in a couple of centuries. We learn more about Spren in that, like, they don't show up all the time, but they can show up. And so some Spren are, like, myths and some are not. There are some Spren where there is only a single one of them, in which case, would it be a Spren or would it not just be, like, an animal? I don't understand what the difference between a Spren is and, like, Chul.
He calls himself a Sia-Imian. So like a simian.
Simian, yeah, I know. That was exactly what I thought. I
it's
literally
I get it.
This was so confusing to me.
It introduced a lot of concepts that it felt like Brandon Sanderson introducing a new magic system to this world at a time where I didn't need one.
Well, the one thing that is nice to know is that Syl is not the only, like, individual Spren. Like, that there are other Spren that are, like, singular. Mm-hmm. But then does this water Spren thingy have a personality?
I don't know. I'm hoping, I thought Axes was a Kandra for a while. That's interesting, Judah.
Oh, yeah,
they are
yeah.
I'm hoping the book coalesces all of these magic systems in a way that helps me feel like the world makes sense.
Yeah.
Because right now there's a lot going on magically. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different magics going on, and it's not bad. This isn't a criticism of it, but it is I'm feeling a little bit right now like there is a lot happening, and we're getting very limited explanations of any of it. And so it feels a little... I'm hoping that by the end of this book, I'm like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I understand what this was going for. Right now, I kind of don't. If I'm being completely honest. And that's why I said at the beginning of book club, like, I was really vibing until this chapter. And then I went like, oh, we're doing a lot of things right now.
And I think, I said this before, I'll say it again. I really think that the interludes are going to be really cool on rereads. But as, like, the first time reading through, the interludes are kind of like, what?
No, I agree.
Interesting, but I don't have the context for them, and so I'm just kind of like, the fuck.
Truffinator's like, I think it's intentional because the characters don't really get it. That is the, like, excuse that everybody uses for every single thing. And no, but every property. It is the excuse that is used across properties, and it isn't it's not a defense. You know what I mean? That's my problem with it. Axes does know what's going on. It is just written around us understanding it.
Yeah, he's a literal expert on Spren.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. There's no reason in this, like, chapter, as you will, for him to cycle through all his knowledge for the audience.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But it is just one of those things where I'm like, this will be really cool later.
I hope it is.
Yeah.
Because it is the risk of, like, it's either going to work when you get the payoff or it isn't. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And it's the thing I'm saying about The Acolyte right now. The Acolyte is a show that is setting itself up for payoff, and the show will only work if that payoff works or not.
Yeah.
But like the journey is being hampered by it wanting to be all about the payoff. And if that payoff doesn't land well, The Acolyte is going to be remembered as a huge flop.
Yeah.
And if the payoff does fucking land really well, the Acolyte is going to turn around the haters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a chance that both of those things happen. Or just kind of stays kind of like mid the whole time.
Mid, yeah.
You know, nothing happens. But the interludes to me, this interlude to me felt like cool. We'll get to this later.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It just kind of felt like that. I kind of read it and went,
I think,
sure, whatever you say.
I think that it might help us like work out like what Syl's deal is in future stuff. But right now I don't have enough context.
I just think there's a lot of different magic in this world right now, and I don't understand fucking any of it.
Yeah.
And these characters don't seem to understand any of it, and so I just feel a little bit like...
No, the characters understand it.
No, they don't, though. Like
Zeth knows exactly how to use his magic.
Zeth knows how to use his magic, but his magic is a mystery to the world in a way that I'm like...
Is it, or is it just the fact that he has it a mystery to the world?
No, like Surge Binding doesn't seem to be
one in a long time.
So like, how did he learn how to do it? You know what I mean? And like, so Surge Binding is different from soul casting, is different from Shard Plate, is different from, and so at some point I want like Mistborn. I felt like I had a really good understanding of mistings, and then we introduced the
Ferrochemy.
Yeah. And then we introduced Hemalurgy.
Yeah.
And I feel like those three things complement each other. Right? Mm-hmm. And B, I felt like I had an understanding of one before we moved on to the others. This book is like, we're going to give you 5% of all of them at the beginning.
Yeah, a lot of different
And so
things.
I'm hoping that the payoff works.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it doesn't work now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that like all of this is really going to depend on how this comes together later, because right now I feel a little bit burdened by it.
Yeah.
In a way I'm still very much loving the book. I enjoy the book a lot. I'm having a great time with it. But I'm also reading this going like, we're introducing another kind of magic? Okay.
Yeah.
He can change his nose to not smell as good. That's wild. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Just plug up that nostrils.
Yeah.
Although part of smell, it does matter.
Yeah. He can do it.
Yeah. Interlude 6 is Interlude 6 is we go back to Zeth, who the son thing means that I think is his grandfather's name, because the guy calls him son something else, and he's like, don't talk about my dad that way.
Yeah, basically he's like hanging out on a wall, looking down on a casino.
Yeah.
And then he's in clothes that don't fit him, but he drops down because they look like really cool, and he's like all scary and shit. And then he goes to kill a guy, and he gets there. That guy, already dead.
Yeah.
Standing in the corner, a guy who killed that guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, you work for us now.
Hey, son Naruto.
Because I killed the guy that is your guy, who told you to kill this guy that I already killed. And you're going to go kill all of the important people on the planet. Go have fun.
Pretty much.
Who do you think that we've already met is on the list of people Zeth has to go kill?
Well, we haven't met the king of Jed
Kavar?
Yeah, that one.
But he said there's many high princes on that list.
Yeah.
Do you think Dalinar is one of them?
It depends. Yes.
Makes sense, right? It feels like if this is about bringing chaos, Dalinar seems to be a calming force.
And is also, like, blood related, like, was the brother of the king, like, definitely will, inspire the Alethi to more revenge type stuff.
Yeah.
So I definitely can see Dalinar, or at least Dalinar, or at least one of his sons being on there.
Okay.
Because if you killed one of the sons, it might inspire Dalinar's like rage to then seek revenge,
to become a tyrant again, like he says he was in a past life.
And like fight more. So I'm betting it's either him or one of his sons.
I don't think Elhokar is, because they didn't say the king of Aleth.
No.
What the fucking names? But I also just think that I think Elhokar is kind of, because even his mom is like, he's not a good king. Right?
Yeah, and so having him in charge is fine, because if he's not doing a great job, he's not like a threat to somebody.
Do you think that we know who is trying to cause chaos? Do you think we've met them yet, or is this going to be a new faction?
it's gonna be that fucker that they left behind in the very, very, very first prelude.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe.
Tizavan or something?
The T one. Tasmanian Devil.
The Tasmanian Devil. Let's just look in my notes here.
Talinel. Yeah.
Toenail.
That is my best guess. I don't know who else it would be.
It's going to be Toenail.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you? You got a guess? Hoyd. It's fucking Hoyd, guys. It's wit.
Maybe.
It is wit.
I really like this book. I don't want to focus on the facts that I'm lost on because I'm really enjoying the reading. The book right now is one where like stopping and thinking about it isn't my favorite experience of it because I do feel a little bit...
It's guiltier.
I like the book more when it is a little bit more focused on like characters in their feelings, in the Dalinar stuff, in the Adlin stuff, in the Kaladin stuff. I feel like the bigger world of this world to me is a bit much right now.
It's daunting.
And so when I get, it's very daunting.
Yeah.
And I don't really know enough to like really understand or care. Like I don't really give a shit about Yaakaved. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit about that king. I don't know who that is. And so, like, it's interesting that there's stuff going on, and I'm excited to get to the point where I understand that I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
But
now you're like, cool, I guess.
I was so in on Dalinar's decision to abdicate. Like, that was such an interesting character thing to me. Mm-hmm. And then ending the reading on the interlude where I'm like, I don't actually care that much if Zeth kills some people I've never heard of.
You're like, oh, we understand that will be chaotic and bad, but I don't know how. Yeah. And so I can't really get,
It's one of those things where like I will be interested in it later in a way that I'm not as interested in it now, but I am so interested in Dalinar and Kaladin right now that like I just want to get back to them, even though I know that like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely not like a negative on the book. It's just like right now we're in the fucking weeds and we just gotta keep pulling through, you know?
I also feel like right now, because there's so many new shows, Acolyte, House of the Dragon, we're doing Bridgerton and The Boys and this, I'm learning a lot of stuff.
Right.
And we're reacting to so much right now that I'm like, my brain is a little full.
Yeah, there's a lot of new things.
These chapters that are just introducing big concepts that aren't explored yet and won't be for like books. I'm like, I don't need this right now. I just want to hang out with Kaladin and the Bridge 4 team. I just want to eat Rock's food. You know, like my brain's a little bit fried. And so some of the big stuff that isn't like the most important right now, I'm like, just save it for later, Brandon. I'm good at the moment.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'll get into this later on. I'm tired.
It's kind of partially why I'm probably just gonna throw the audiobook on while I'm like building cosplay stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like so much of fantasy stuff is getting your audience used to the vocabulary that you use.
Yeah.
And you can either do that by kind of explaining everything or just using it in circumstances so the audience so it clicks for them. And I think that both are totally valid. But I think that in a world as big as this one is, you definitely got to put in the work to familiarize yourself with all the different like names and places and locations and what the differences are between them. And you know, like these names are like light eye names and these dark eye names, and like this person comes from this place, and like there's so many little moving pieces.
Yeah. And like and this is what I meant about Shallan. I don't remember anything about Shallan anymore. Because we've learned so much else.
Good thing somebody wrote a summary.
Yeah, thank you to the person who wrote a summary about Shallan.
I actually don't know who that was, but thank you.
But like, I remember Shallan and Sando makes you do your homework. I think that's it, James Ross. I think that's it. This book feels like it's gonna be homework. This book feels
really?
It doesn't go down smooth. I think that Kaladin and Dalinar do, and it's why I love those chapters. I think that some of the stuff around Kaladin and Dalinar it feels like 2 books from now. I'm going to have to go read summaries online of what happened 2 books ago because I already am like, the names, places, and things got so big so fast and so varied so fast that like when Risen comes back in like interlude 19 of book 3, I'm gonna be like, wait, who the fuck is Risen?
Right. I think that there's some merit to this method of storytelling that really lends itself to rereadability.
I just don't have that kind of time in my life anymore.
Oh, but that's what I mean. Like, I think that is so dependent on the person reading it and less a commentary on the person writing it, right? Like, I think that there are a lot of people who read this and are like, this is fucking sick. I don't think I understand a lot of it, so I'm going to read it again. Because I loved being in the world, and that's why the characters like Dalinar and Kaladin really help, like, pull you through it. They're like the tether, almost, to get you through all the information. Yeah.
Apparently we're supposed to read all the epigraphs in order. So, we'll read the whole letter, epigraph by epigraph. What chapter did that start on? 12? Right? Old friend, I hope this missive finds you well, though as you are now essentially immortal, I would guess that wellness on your part is something of a given.
Oh, it's dude from Interlude. Yeah.
I realize you're probably still angry. That is pleasant to know. No, he's not angry. He's not a mad dude. Much as your potential health, I have come to rely upon your dissatisfaction with me. It is one of the Cosmere's great constants, I should think. Let me first assure you that the element is quite safe. I found a good home for it. I protect its safety like I protect my own skin, you might say. You do not agree with my quest, I understand that, so much as it is possible to understand someone with whom I disagree so completely. May I be quite frank? Before you ask why I was so concerned, it is for the following reason.
I love asking a question in a letter that is rhetorical.
Yeah. Adi was once a kind and generous man, and you saw what became of him. Reza, on the other hand, was among the most loathsome, crafty, and dangerous individuals I had ever met. He holds the most frightening and terrible of all the shards. Ponder on that for a time, you old reptile, and tell me if your insistence on non-intervention holds firm, because I assure you, Reza will not be similarly inhibited.
Do you think a reptile is like a Parshendi joke?
I think it's just he's calling him cold-blooded.
I'm trying to come up with something.
No, he's saying you're a cold-blooded person.
Yeah, okay.
One need only look at the aftermath of his brief visit to Cell to see proof of what I say. Does this have to do with Elantris? Did Reza create the earthquake that stopped Elantris magic from working? Is that what this is implying?
Oh, God.
In case you have turned a blind eye to that disaster, know that Aeona and Sky are both dead, and that which they held has been splintered, presumably to prevent anyone from rising up to challenge Reza. You have accused me of arrogance in my quest. You have accused me of perpetuating my grudge against Reza and Bavadin. Both accusations are true. Neither point makes the things I've written to you untrue. I am being chased. Your friends of the 17th Shard, I suspect. I believe they're still lost. Following a false trail I left for them, they'd be happier that way. I doubt they have any inkling what to do with me should they actually catch me.
Which is why I think that this is Hoyd writing this, because there's those people we saw that are looking for Hoyd.
Judah Kennedy, thank you for that super chat. It has to do with the essays you read of Cell. Oh my God, Brandon. This is what I mean. I never would have thought to go back and reread that shit. If anything I have said makes a glimmer of sense to you, I trust that you'll call them off, or maybe you could astound me and ask them to do something productive for once. For I have never been dedicated to a more important purpose, and the very pillars of the sky will shake with the results of our war here. I ask again, support me, do not stand aside and let disaster consume our lives. I've never begged you for something before, old friend. I do so now.
Yeah, cool.
Let's not get into critical race theory today. That's funny, Michael.
Oh my God. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
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 Cool. Can't wait for that to make sense. Can't wait for that to make sense.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, we'll figure it out. You know, the pieces will fall into place, and we'll get.
Or they won't, and people will just say that I'm dumb on book club for another 2 years, like they have for the past 2 years.
We have our good moments. We nail some stuff right away, and we miss some stuff.
You do. You're very talented. You're very nice. You're very smart. And I'm an idiot. And I know that. And I know what this show is. It is just masochism on my part.
Wow, okay.
As I hang myself out to dry while the high storm that is chat batters me.
Just bullies you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then complains that I do the show the way that I do it, and then shows it the next week anyway.
Yeah, it's y'all's fault for being here.
I mean, that's what the show is, right? He
does have a better beard.
I piss you guys off, and then you guys complain that I piss you off, and then we all come back next week and we do it again.
Yeah, it's like a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
I love that for you guys.
Yeah.
Lou says, this is why Stormlight is our top 10 series, but I would actually pass on the Cosmere as a whole. Interesting.
I think that, like, when the Cosmere is done, in hindsight, it's all going to be so cool. But I can understand if you're, like, caught up with the Cosmere, and you're like, I've read 17 books, and the shit isn't halfway done. I can understand being like, maybe this isn't the best way to do this.
Sure. I
don't know. We'll get there. Like, I don't know if that's how people feel about it. But, like, there is a part of me that's like, because the epigraphs here are, like, not relevant to this book, right? They're about something else. And I can understand the people that don't love that. Like people who are like, I just want to read a Spider-Man comic and not have to pick up the event to understand the Spider-Man comic, which I think is a valid opinion on modern comics, right? Like the modern comics incessant like connections and need to everything be caught up to the event. Mm-hmm. I totally understand why that is frustrating. And so I think that Brandon Sanderson is taking big swings here and doing something different, and I'm excited to get into that.
Hey, and I support that 100%.
Cryback, thank you for that super chat. Super chat's recharging spheres.
Thank you for that super chat. Yeah, it's oh man, it is a lot, and like it's a really cool journey to be on. He is doing something new that at least I've never seen before, and I think that that's why a lot of people love his shit, because he's like, we're just gonna fucking go for it. I respect that 100%.
But I do think that it is the danger of connecting your property to the books that don't work as well. Like, right. I think that, like, I think that obviously people like Elantris and Warbreaker. I'm not saying that they're bad.
Yeah.
But I do think that even, like, within the audience of our show, there's a few hundred people in here, right? I think that the consensus is that they're, like, less good books. And I think that Brandon now is probably a much better writer, and you're like, if you want to read his really good book now, you have to kind of start 20 years ago with this book that's honestly not that great. So I wouldn't actually start with it. I would start with Mistborn so that you like Brandon enough to get to Elantris, which is what people actually said to us.
Or you watch someone's YouTube video about it.
Not ours, though. Ours are way too long.
No, not ours. Don't watch ours.
God awful.
But like, you know, the people who put together all the little strings.
But, like, you know, I when we started this, people were literally like, well, technically Elantris is first, but don't read it first because it's not very good. Read Mistborn so that you like Brandon and you feel like it's worse getting through Elantris. And I'm like, that is an insane way to explain starting with somebody's book series.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Cradle.
Well, but here's
where I'm like, God, you know what? Unsold
problem.
Isn't that good, but people are like, yeah, but you just have to read the not very good book to get to book 3 where the series gets really good.
Here's the actual problem right now that I have is that, like, I actually don't know how relevant the stuff in those books is going to be. I don't have the connections yet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm, like, feeling like I'm grasping at straws to try and put it together, and I'm just, like, not, like, I'm like, is it me, or are they actually... Or am I looking for connections where there aren't as many as I think that there are? Does that make sense?
Yeah, because you say Cell, and I'm like, oh, I know what happened on Cell. And it's like, oh, it's actually not the events that you read on Cell. It's something else that happened on Cell at a different time. And I'm like, okay, well then, okay. It's actually from the essays from the Ars Arcanum. And it's like, all right.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. It's just it is a wild experience that I'm so grateful that we're having.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
Like, I am very much enjoying this book, but I am also like,
But I the reason that I'm bringing this up is not to criticize the book. I think the book is very good, and I'm really enjoying it. I love this book, right?
Yeah.
I love Kaladin. I really, really love Dalinar. I really hope that I love Adolin in the future. I'm waiting for it. I want his big turn to, like, really be that moment for me, you know? But at the same time, I have really high expectations for the payoff. And the payoff of this book has got to fucking nail it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that's, and that's, some books are like that. Some books some books become about the destination and not the journey. Mm-hmm. And this book feels like it is asking me to is asking me to expect a big destination. And I think that can be risky sometimes, right? I think that putting so much weight on the destination of a story is a gamble. And clearly this gamble pays off because so many people love this book, right?
Yeah.
But just being honest about my feelings right now is I'm like, all right, you're really asking me to go on the ride with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And right now I am. And if that gamble does not pay off, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I think that...
Sir Jimmer says Journey before Destination. That is not how Brandon Sanderson writes. Brandon Sanderson writes Destination before Journey. That's why everyone is all about the Sanderlanche. If Brandon Sanderson wrote Journey before Destination, then the journey would be the point of these books, and it isn't. The point is to set up a bunch of dominoes so that they fall together in a satisfying destination.
I don't understand the point that is trying to be made right now.
I think that you guys are... Journey before Destination implies that the destination isn't the most interesting part of the book, and that isn't what this book is.
Is that what it implies?
Yeah. Is that, like, the point of it is to go on the journey to get there. But the way that Brandon Sanderson writes is he writes these massive domino collapsing endings, and then he spends 300 pages setting it up so the destination is this big moment. That's destination over journey.
I don't understand the point that's trying to be made. Judah, thank you for that super chat. To be honest, you get most of the connections within Stormlight, which helped me immensely because I only read Stormlight and Mistborn at first, and the other stuff we read later. There are a lot of people saying, like, oh yeah, you know, Elantris and Warbreakers, like, you could read later if you wanted to. I actually am, in a way, kind of glad that we read those first, because we started with a banger.
Because if we start... Oh, God. Going back to those after this?
Yes, yeah. That's what I mean. If we'd started with Mistborn, and then we'd gone to this, and then somewhere down the line we'd come back to these earlier works and been like, oh, boy. I think it would have been, like, a worse experience for us. Whereas we were like, oh, it's early stuff. It's fine. You know, we're not gonna, like, get our knickers in a twist about it. But, you know, we're going to have playful banter with Chad of, like, this is weird, doesn't work, what is cringe, whatever. I am actually glad that we read these now in our journey as opposed to later, because I think we would have been like, oh, God, this is hard to get through after something like this, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elias says the Sanderlanche only works because of the setup. Yes, but that implies that the Sanderlanche, that implies that the decision of the novel is to set up the book in a way where it is about the ending, right? That is...
So you're talking about, are people trying to say that the stories have no point at the end?
No. I'm saying that, like, there are two kinds of... one of the criticisms that is levied at some books is that the ending kind of falls off. And it's like, well, the story is about the journey, not the destination, right?
Okay.
And that is a style of writing is that the point of the way that the narrative is laid out is to go on the journey. And it isn't actually about where the book ends up. It's about to experience the journey as it goes. That is not what Brandon Sanderson writes at all, right? Brandon Sanderson writes big destinations, and then the rest of the book is a setup for that destination.
But what does it mean before?
Before meaning, like, the importance of it is actually the journey, not just the ending. I
don't understand that phrase, because it's like, obviously the journey is before the destination. You won't get to the end.
No. Before meaning in terms of the importance of the writing, not in terms of linear.
In terms of the importance.
Yeah, in terms of, like, if you're ranking what's the most important thing about the book, you would put the journey before the destination on a ranking list of what's important about the book. Mm-hmm. Whereas Brandon Sanderson, the most important thing is the destination, because it's all set up for the dominoes to fall into place. Like, he's not writing journey. This isn't about following Kaladin's journey through this. It is about world building to the point where Kaladin's journey and Dalinar's journey and Shallan's journey and all of them meet up for the perfect, big, explosive finale. And that's how all of his books work. Every single one is about the destination. Okay. From Final Empire to Well of Ascension. Like, he literally writes books built on the destination and getting to them in a way that is satisfying. I don't know that I've ever read an author who is less about the journey and more about the destination than Brandon Sanderson in my life.
What do you mean? None of it would work if the setup wasn't important.
No, but I'm saying that like the important part of the book is the journey, right? Not the destination.
Journey?
I would argue like Lord of the Rings.
You just said the opposite. I don't understand what the point trying to be made here is. I'm like genuinely so confused as to what point are you trying to make?
I don't know anymore. Let's just move on. That's fine. Let's just move on from it. I've said my piece. I've said what I need to say. I think that you just don't understand the concept of journey before destination.
You said that the journey is more important.
There are people think that there are two schools of writing. I don't think either of these actually exist, but it is a talking point that writers talk about, where you can either put the journey before the destination in terms of importance of the book, or destination over journey, right? Are you building up to a big finale, or are you writing a story that is equally important all the way through? And it's not just about ending on a big finale, right?
I feel...
They're two different kinds of narrative structures.
I feel like the structure of the book is for the whole thing to be important. Then
never mind.
Doesn't
then
matter.
Let's just move on.
It. Sorry, I literally do not understand. Arzu, thank you for that super chat. Way of Kings is a starter into Cosmere book. If you don't get the connections, relax. You don't have to. That is reread territory. That is, that's totally how I'm feeling about some of the epigraphs and interludes and stuff. I'm literally this will be really fucking cool on a reread. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Great book club. We went a little over time.
Did we? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I thought we were still under 3 hours.
Just a wee bit. No, just a wee bit.
Clarice, let's do high-low.
Yeah. All right. We're going to do high-low. Chat, you can also do high-low if you want, where you say the high of the section and the low of the section. And we're going to start with my high, then Nerdy's low, then my low, then Nerdy's high, so that we compliment sandwich these beach.
Thank you for saying that. What's your high?
Great question. I don't fucking know. I think that the conversation that we reacted to between Dalinar and Yasna was really inspiring is the wrong word, but I was there's something here, there's a little bit of reveals, the drawing of the Chasm Fiend and that being thought of as a Voidbringer, and Dalinar concluding his decision, how that chapter was structured, I think was really cool. So I was a big fan of that.
Yeah, then the latrine moment, all of chapter 28 is pretty fantastic. That chapter definitely a high. What's your low?
I
mean, it's tough, right? I don't really think it's kind of interlude 5 for me. It's just expanding the world at a time when I don't know that I needed it right now. For me, it threw me. That's so
interesting.
I felt like, just so I can get my point across, and I'll let you. I was really invested in part 2. I felt like part 2 was so strong as a part.
Yeah.
And then we got to the interludes, and unlike the interludes at the end of part 1, I felt like interlude 5 was the first time, and then interlude 6 did this a little bit too, where where it felt like the book was telling me the story that you're reading isn't actually what's important. It felt like the book was looking at me, the reader, and being you're reading a fucking prequel to what's actually important. This doesn't matter. But when I was in part 2, I was this is such an important story. I felt like I was really invested. And then the interlude was you're dumb. This is actually a much bigger world, and what happens on the Shattered Plains is such a small part of it, you shouldn't even worried about it.
Okay.
And that was and so it felt a little bit immersive breaking for me personally.
Okay. I definitely didn't get that. I can see where that would come from. I honestly, of the interludes, I thought that Axie's being a Spren researcher and kind of understanding that Syl might be a one of a kind was really cool. So I did appreciate that tie-in to Kaladin's story, because I find Syl really interesting, a thing that is gaining sentience.
Yeah.
But,
Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you.
Dalinar getting sweaty, banging rock.
You love to see it,
I would watch that scene. What is your low?
Milo, I think honestly is interlude 1-4.
With Risen?
Yeah. I didn't really understand how that was relevant, except for how Zeth got I didn't really understand how it was relevant.
Yeah, it really felt like a writer being like, did you wonder who owned Zeth before he killed Gavilar? And I was like, not really. I wish that it got a little bit into what Truthless meant. I think that if it got a little bit into what Truthless meant, it would feel completely different.
Yes.
But it just feels like there's no real important information in it other than Vistim owned him. And like, I don't know. It felt like it didn't do enough as an interlude.
Yeah, if it had given me something in terms of like context, I would have been much happier with it. But as it was, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I felt the same way.
Okay, cool.
It didn't take me out as much because it didn't feel like it was trying to be like, and the more important thing.
Yeah, I didn't get that from
Zeth being like, I'm going to kill all the kings and drastically change the entire planet. I was like, oh, okay, I guess
it just
that's like more important. That felt more important than the like skirmishes that we're doing on the plains right now. And I was like, oh, so Zeth is doing the actual plot of the book? Okay, I guess.
Well, no, he's not really the plot of the book. He is the inciting incidents of other people's
The more
plots.
important thing going on in the planet of Roshar right now is what Zeth is doing, than the prince is doing the same shit every day.
But Dalinar isn't, and that's why it's interesting.
But Dalinar's abdicating. Dalinar's not doing anything. Dalinar just decided not to participate.
Well,
I'm assuming that's not how it plays out. But like, the end of this was like Dalinar being like, I'm out. I'm going to let the princes keep going in circles. And then it cuts to the interludes, and they're like, there are immortals who can shapeshift, and Zeth is going to murder all of the high princes and the king of Yakaved.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that feels way more important than Kaladin is going to keep running this bridge because no one wants to stop the war.
I'm sorry that took you out of it.
It's fine. I'm assuming that the next section is going to draw me back into Kaladin and maybe have Shallan in it. But
I looked. It's Shallan.
In the moment, it felt like Kaladin didn't really progress in part 2 away from being a bridge crew. He got more entrenched in being a bridge crew, right? And so we're not going anywhere with that. We're sticking with Bridge 4 for a while. And Dalinar, the only character in the book right now that was like going to end the war and wanted to end the war, the only person interested in getting out of the cycle that is interesting and fun and has some cool action beats, but isn't really a story. He ended this section by saying, I'm out, let the cycle continue.
Well,
and then the interlude goes, and then these are characters that are doing stuff that's going to change the entire world. That's going to change things.
Yeah, but it's just Zeth killing a bunch of people. I don't really find that
Which is
going
to change everything.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see the fallout of that. I'm not really interested in watching Zeth just go around murdering people because he's the most powerful.
No, I'm interested in how that changes the world.
Yeah.
I'm less interested in watching Adolin try and compete with Sadeas on the cycle.
I just think it's going to be less about that because the dominoes are going to fall. The one thing that I will say is that I believe that Kaladin's bridge crew, Bridge 4, is going to end up becoming Dalinar's. Because remember when they were like researching the bridge stuff and they're like, oh, it's not working. We need to see what the bridge crews are doing, what Sadeas' bridge crews are doing. We need to recruit one of them. We need one bridge crew to like practice with almost. So I feel like Bridge 4 is actually going to go over to Dalinar. I'm hoping that that's how they like meet.
Dalinar won't be there. Dalinar's abdicating.
Yeah, but his group, his people, right? Like
I guess, but I think that Adolin is going to run them more like Sadeas does.
Yeah, and I think that Kaladin's gonna be there, and I think that they're gonna I don't know. I want them to meet. I want those like plot lines to come together because they just feel like they're so close. They're like one is over here and one is over here, and they're so close.
I think you're gonna be disappointed until like late part 4 or part 5. I think we've got a long way to go because we still have to get Shallan into some kind of plot. Because Shallan now is like fully not in a plot line.
I think Shallan and Yasna are going to be the last piece of the puzzle to join everybody. Because Yasna's like, oh, we totally are gonna come see you guys again, but I don't know when because I have shit that is more important to figure out first.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious. Honestly, I like the book a lot. My low is like such a small thing. You know what I mean? It's not even though I felt like the chapter took me out of it, I still think the chapter is well written.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really think there's bad writing in this at all.
Yeah.
I think some of the like gender neutral stuff is goofy, but like I get it. Like it's not bad. It's just a little bit silly.
Yeah. Also, we're not skipping the interludes. Don't worry, chat.
No, we're gonna read the fucking book.
Yeah, no. We're not doing that. That's so
I skipped
goofy.
the filler in One Piece, but it's because One Piece is 1,000 episodes, and even the plot is. I just watched the 2 of the worst episodes of One Piece of the entire thing.
No.
Oh my god, they were so bad.
I'm so sorry.
In the middle of Skypiea, they're in this huge fight. It's so cool. It's some of the most epic shit in One Piece. And then there's 2 episodes that flash back to the most boring, pointless story you've ever watched in your life.
No.
And it's literally like 187 and 188 are like, they're terrible. I was literally sitting there in the reaction being like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why is this here? It's not a good story. It's not interesting. Oh, God. Ugh. And I was like so vibing on 186. I was like, this is great. Let's go. Next episode. And then I watched 187 and I was like, huh.
Rude.
Wow, that sucked.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
That'll be on Patreon today.
Spoilers for Nerdy's reaction. Yeah.
Don't watch it. Let that video flop. Those episodes suck.
Wow.
They do. No, they're actually like the worst episodes of One Piece. I would rather watch the like fucking Millennium Dragon filler again over those 2 episodes.
Well, damn. You know what video should not flop?
What?
Well, I'm going to drop a linky in the chat.
A linky?
A linky. And if some of you want to go check out the finale of Candela Obscura...
If you could drop a comment. Guys, if you could go to that video and... go to that Candela and say what your favorite horror movie is in the chat there.
Yeah, favorite horror movie. I dropped the linky in the chat. We're sorry to bring it back to Candela, but we're really fucking proud of it. And so if you could just go show it some love, that would mean a lot. Yeah. It's been 3.5 hours. Oopsie. Which is hilarious because this was like a shorter section of the book, I think. So...
Ooh, this person says our roleplay really talkback show should be the roleplay rehash, and I really like that.
Damn, JD Jack. That's a really good idea. I love that. Roleplay rehash. That's very fun.
Go be terrified of a building. I created a monster, and I love her so much.
Yeah, it's really cool. Little shameless plug. For those of you who watched it, I'm really glad. We're so grateful.
The entire thing's out, so you can go binge the whole thing now.
Yeah.
Sorry this episode was long. 3.5 hours is long for a book club. But.
Hey, if you guys can watch our 3.5 hour book club, you can go watch one 90-minute Candela episode. We love you guys. Thank you so much. This was...
the reading this week
bonkers.
Is up until...
This was an insane book club, and I feel like I am partially responsible for that because, I helped host it. So,
I mean, do you?
do I, guys?
Do you host it or do I host it and you heckle?
You know what?
We're reading until chapter 41. The chapter reactions are going to be 35 and 37. No, that's what I said last week and I was wrong. 32, 35, and 36.
God damn!
How long are those chapters?
All right, we're gonna have to figure out our recording schedule for those.
We could do one in LA though.
Oh, what was your high? I'm so sorry.
Did I not say my high?
No.
32's 30 minutes. 35 is 13. Wait.
13 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow, it must be a fucking banger chapter.
And then 36 is 40. Actually, that's not bad. That's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally easy. I was like, if these are like an hour plus each.
Those hour, look, we'll do them. I'm not saying we won't. The hour-long audiobooks are a little tough.
Yeah,
because we don't have anything to look at. I feel like I need like a fidget spinner or something.
We're a couple of neurospicies, and so without a visual stimuli, it's kind of
that
like...
hour 7-minute reaction. What felt very long.
Yeah. And not in like a bad way, just in a like, that's why I have the book with me so that I have a thing to kind of zero in on to pull my focus back. Yeah.
My high for the reading this week is just Rock. I've fallen in love with Rock. I really felt like, because I didn't really like love him last week, but this week I felt like he became my favorite character in the book. I love his perspective. I love... he's got like a gentle kindliness, but he's a large guy, which is probably why I love him. That's me. I feel like I always resonate with like the big dude that's got a heart of gold because I feel like that's
the big teddy bear.
In many ways, that's kind of my vibe,
Yeah.
I think that people would be unexpected at how I feel about things, and I think I can be a little harsh on the outside sometimes. It doesn't always betray that I care about people the way that I do. And so, I think just falling in love with Rock was really great. I think he's such a wonderful character. I really hope we get to go see his homeland. I want to get to meet his people more and just spend more time with him. I want some of that stew.
Yeah. We want some crunchy stew.
Johnny Coleman, thank you for that super chat. It says, play Super Mario or something simple while you listen. I can't play something that I would get frustrated about.
Oh my god.
I might as well just play Elden Ring.
Just Stardew Valley it up. That'd be fun.
Just the sound of the fucking fishing in the background.
Yeah.
Nerdy play Rock in the adaptation? No. I think that I will leave that to
a ginger?
A Samoan or a Maori or Polynesian actor.
He's not. I mean, he's a ginger.
I'm not playing a character with that name because I will get fucking roasted. Dwayne The Rock Johnson will show up and beat me to a fucking pulp.
But he's not actually Samoan. They just have names that are...
I'm not fucking around with that. Once Brandon Sanderson names that character that, and I'm not even going to try and say it now, there is no way.
You know what his name
reminded
me?
For me to play that character in live action.
His name reminded me of the fucking song that got cut from...
Huma Huma Nuka Nuka Apua'a?
That's the one. Yeah.
Mikihini Wakihini Hu?
Yeah.
Huma Huma Nuka Nuka Apua'a. Oh, I wanna Wakihini Wakihini ooh ooh ooh. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I definitely... Ryan.
Huh?
Ryan, that's the character who sings that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have come out of the closet earlier.
Oh, God. If you haven't watched a High School Musical, what a journey. It's not even in the movie.
Julian Cassis says, it's fantasy, who the fuck cares? It's not about who cares. It's about the fact that we live in a time where we are trying to be more respectful of casting, and if you're going to have characters who are... If you're going to have a fantasy character that is clearly pulling from a real-world culture, then when you adapt that into live action, you can't just give that to another white person.
Yeah.
And I think that it is important to be careful about that. I think that it is... I think that, we have to be cognizant of the way in which we are pulling... from real-world cultures and what we do with that when we adapt those into... other forms of media, so that we are being really respectful of the cultures that we are pulling from.
Yeah.
And I think that we have to be careful. I think it's important. And I believe that it's important. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. I'm not telling you that you have to agree that it's important, but I think it's important. I want to create art that is respectful of a variety of cultures and creates room for a variety of people to exist in art, right? It's one thing that, I really want Roleplay Relay to do. We worked hard to make sure that show was diverse, our Candela, and we're still doing that in the future. Iz says, but what if it's Emma Stone?
Fucking Christ. Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's fine. She's Asian, right?
Johnny Coleman, thank you for both of those super chats.
Something turn-based with no dialogue.
Just Civ. Playing Civ.
I could play Civ while we audiobook reacted.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Fucking easy. Pokemon Red.
Andres Zeman, thank you for joining the Nards. Appreciate that.
Table.
Pokemon Red would be funny.
I'm
nuzlocking while I'm listening to the audiobooks.
Oh my god. That would make you upset. That would be rage-inducing, though.
I am a fan of diversity. I think that a lot of the art that I love is great because there are multiple viewpoints on it, and a lot of the art that I find very boring is a bunch of white people trying to imitate another culture. I think that these things become more interesting when you bring more people in, right? I think that and sometimes that doesn't work, right? I think the Witcher TV show went too hard on it and lost the cultural elements of The Witcher. And I wish that the Witcher TV show had felt more culturally, Northern European. I felt like some of that got lost and it just kind of became generic fantasy. And so I do think that we go the other way too far sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I think that if you're going to have a world as big as Roshar, I want it to be filled with people of different colors, right? I want it to be filled with people behind the camera of different colors so that we can... and different creeds and religions and races and all of it so that we can, create better art together. Because better art is created when variety is added.
Was that thunder?
Yeah.
Ah, cool. It's been fucking stormy lately. Yeah. I love that for us.
Brando told Henry Cavill that he's too old and not Asian. Oh, interesting. I didn't picture Kaladin as Asian.
Oh! No, I did not either.
I pictured him as kind of like Northern African. I kind of pictured like Egyptian.
Okay.
You know, like Jesus.
Guys, Kaladin is Jesus, confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that I think that this is a story where there's room to really explore other cultures, and I think it would be great to... Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I think that's fair.
Alethi have the epicanthic filled? I don't know what that is. Epicanthic folds. I'm sorry, I'm not a great biologist. What is an epicanthic fold? Asian is in Mongolia? Oh, okay. Interesting.
Oh.
They all... Asian eyes. Oh, okay, interesting.
Oh.
The Alethi are Mongolian, Middle Eastern.
Didn't... Yeah.
Rad. Do you know who should be Dalinar? Oh my god. The guy from fucking RRR. Rom.
Oh.
He would be a great fucking
I thought you were going to say Daniel Henney.
No, I wouldn't.
I know he's your favorite. That's why I got
Daniel Henney. Ooh. Yeah, Daniel Henney would be great in this.
I mean, he'd be great in anything.
Honestly, you could cast a lot of this from RRR. It's a great cast. They're talented people in that movie.
That movie was one of the most bonkers thing I've ever seen. And
Ooh,
it was so
and
much
have
fun.
Sadius played by the other guy.
The
You know, the two guys in have the cop guy. He could be Dalinar because he's got that sort of like buttoned up, and then have Sadius play
I don't
played
know.
by the other guy.
I'm
blanking on their names right now.
At all.
Judah, thank you for that super chat. Most of our stars based of Asian descent. Cool. I can't wait to watch the movie. Get Henry Golding in there as Adolin, maybe. Get some like hot.
Who is Simu Liu playing? Is he Elhokar?
Simu Liu would actually be a great Elhokar. Wait, that's actually pretty good casting.
Thank you.
I'm into that.
Thank you.
As
welcome.
the like shitty king.
We should have saved
Because
this
he's
for
got
the
the
full
comedic.
book recap.
Oh my god, yeah.
We'll cast it for the full book recap.
Ooh.
That'll be fun.
A younger Edward James Olmos is always my inner visual. Ooh, I like that. I like Edward James Olmos in fucking everything, right?
Who's that?
What? Edward James Olmos is the lead of the remake of Battlestar Galactica.
Oh.
He's such a fucking incredible
I can picture
actor.
him in my head, but I don't actually think I've seen him in anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I live for Edward James Olmos.
Yeah.
Anyway, this show's been very long. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Give us a 5-star review over on the podcast feeds, or like any review. Do whatever you want, guys. Just live your life. Be happy. We live in a weird time. The world is bleak, and just show your loved ones that you love them. Call your mom. You know what I mean? Unless you don't talk to her, then don't. That's fine too. But live your joy.
You know what? Go about your day today, and then at the end of the day, at a reasonable hour, not too late, before you go to bed and before you wind down, call someone that you love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a good chat.
Yeah.
And then masturbate and pass out.
Why not?
The human life cycle. Smut Corner. Close. Where are you adding sex to this week?
Get out of here. I was gonna try and find somewhere with the spren, the water spren, but I couldn't figure it out. Couldn't get there.
The fucking
Couldn't get there.
Whatever his name is, the fucking AMR. I keep wanting to call him an Asimar. Because he's like an immortal.
Amian, I think it is. Yeah.
He just makes his penis into a fish penis so he can go fuck that thing.
Oh my god, because he can shape change.
Yeah. And he can write on his skin. He is Memento.
Can he...
The bridge foursome. That's funny.
Can he grow himself different genitalia or more genitalia?
Probably.
If he can totally change his appearance.
Oh my god, chasm duty is a necrophiliac's dream.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
I think that's the end of the show. Bye, everybody.
Wow. Bye.
Thank you to our mods. Congrats to everyone who won bingo.
Happy bingo.
Bye.